Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, I'm with level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. My 20 things about Kwasem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say no artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fi spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our Ghana Talks Radio and yes say in our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app no our Play Store and the App Store. Na tune in yes say this what you see baba live on Facebook, go Instagram, any Ghana Talks Radio page and so now listen. Ebe your fire. 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
Good morning, Ghana. Good morning, lovely listeners of Ghana Talks Radio. It's another beautiful, brand new day, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. You are welcome to the news headline review. Here we give you all the latest headlines making waves in the news. From business to politics, from sports to entertainment, we got you covered with the most relevant stories. And as usual, I remain your host, Ruth Esinam Fiagbedu. And I can't do this alone. Sitting in the chair with me this morning is Miss Regina Bless and Miss Debbie Adoso. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
I'm good.
Miss Debbie? Wow. All right, so this morning we have a bit of stories cooked out that we need to share our opinions on. So we're going to get straight into it right this morning. All right, moving on to our first story for this morning. Government to make disability inclusion a legal obligation. Deputy Education Minister. The government will reenact the Persons with Disability Act 2006 at 715 and introduce a legislative instrument to ensure its full enforcement. Dr. Clement Abbas Appa, the Deputy Minister of Education, said on Monday. That would make disability inclusion a legal obligation for all institutions, he said at the commemoration of the National Day for Persons with Disability in Accra. The program, organized by the Ghana Federations of Persons with Disability, was on the theme Advancing Inclusion Through Education. It also saw the honoring of individuals who have championed the rights of PWDs over the years. Dr. Clement said the government was collaborating with the private sector to effectively implement the 5% employment quota for PWDs, urging private institutions to commit to employing at least 5% of their competent workforce from the PWD community. He emphasized the power of education held for social transformation, adding that the government, as reaffirmed by President John Dramani Mahama in the 2025 State of the Nation address, was committed to legislative and structural reforms to promote inclusivity. He announced the introduction of a mathematics curricula tailored for visually impaired students at the senior high school level to enable their participation in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which is also known as STEM education. He commended the government's effort to ensure free tertiary education for PWDs and called on the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection to expedite processes to align the disability law with the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability. So this is coming from the Minister of Education. The government of Ghana is taking steps to make disability inclusion legally mandatory in all institutions by reenacting the Persons with Disability Act 715 and introducing a legislative instrument to enforce it. We are living in a world where people and persons with disability are actually undermined. We see to them like we undermine them, like we degrade them, we look down upon them. We actually feel as if they don't have the competence. But luckily enough, this government came into power and they want to make free tertiary education for persons with disability. And that's a good call coming from the government. At least if you don't have hands or legs to work, if you don't have that ability to do what every normal human being is doing, at least you have the knowledge and you can bring your intellectual on board. So that is coming from the government, and they are making it mandatory to include it in all institutions. Yeah. Ms. Eugenia, what do you make of it? What's your general thoughts of the inclusion of disability in educational institutions?
Okay, so including disability or people with disability in our educational is it educational reform or in our constitution, making it legal, I feel is very important, and it is the right step in the right direction, because I would say that people with disabilities in Ghana here are being sidelined, are being neglected, and also I think that when people with disabilities are in any kind of institution, whether it's formal or informal, they make it seem, or bosses or leaders make it seem as if they are doing these people a favor. But when a legal structure is being formed to make sure that no matter what, these people are being employed into institutions, even in education sectors and all that, it is not a favor, but rather it is, should I say, their response? No, it is not it is their right. Because everyone needs to be treated equally. So if someone is blind and he or she can bring something good into a company, is very intelligent, is competent to do his or her job really well, I think there's no reason why this person shouldn't be employed. The person needs to be employed, whether in the formal or informal sector. This is high time we stop having the notion that people with disabilities, we are doing them a favor. This is a time where we need to make sure that we respect them and treat these people equally. And also, when you already go to some schools, some institutions, especially the work institution and the education institutions, some people already have infrastructures that would favor people with disabilities, especially people with wheelchairs. Even when you go to churches, we have a part where people with disabilities pass.
Yeah.
But not all institutions have that. So this is a time where if truly they want to include this, then they also need to look into the infrastructure aspect of it.
Yeah. Thank you. Mr. Green.
Well, I think it's a good call. And just as we are all saying, disability, I mean, they feel they are less respected in the society.
Exactly.
And even though sometimes you go to school, you complete and all that, but getting a work is kind of a bit frustrating. You get into the company, you are you are good. But when they look at you, immediately you enter, sometimes even the reception, they are not hostile. They look at you with some sort of, eyes and things, and then it makes you feel bad, as if you're not a human being.
Right.
So I feel like it is good. It's going to ignite this hope and courage in people with disability. And I always say disability is not inability.
It's not inability.
You are disabled doesn't mean you are not capable.
Right.
There are lots of things hidden in them, and I like it when I see disabled doing things for themselves. I mean, you're not a liability, even though you are disabled, but then you feel like there is some quality in you that you want the world to see. So if this what they are bringing up to help them, as I said, it's going to encourage them to do more and then to put them on the front line. So it's a good one.
Yeah. And they are reintroducing mathematics for visually impaired people from SHS. I feel like this thing should start from the basic level.
Mathematics.
No, like the inclusion of disabled people in our schools. Because sometimes even if you go to our school, barely will you say disabled people in a school.
It's one.
Is it a case that they've made a special school for them?
Yeah,
that
they have special schools for them, for visually impaired, for people who are willing to go to school. You know, some of them, they are disabled, like they can see, they can walk, but they can even hear, but they find it very difficult to talk. It's not as if they are deaf, but they can't, even if they are talking, that like their voice seems like a child that was born today. And so with that kind of people, they have a particular school for them where they go and they are being taught. They can include them in the normal school, but I feel like the way people
with special
needs.
Yeah,
exactly. The way you will be fast to grab it, it will be a bit difficult for them because they are they are suffering from some kind of illness. So I feel like there are schools, but those schools, 99% are owned by private entities. Hardly will you see government, coming up with a whole infrastructure, a whole institution. I've not seen any institution under the government meant for the deaf, like the universities. No, they go to the normal universities, but I said they have a department for them where they teach them, and then we have the people with the science in the universities where they teach these people. So I feel like if the government can also invest in building a whole institution, just as we have the we have Winneba, we have Legon and stuff, they can actually build institution mainly for the deaf, the dumb, those who can't walk and stuff, and then they'll get people who would teach them.
That's a good call. As Miss Regina mentioned, if they are going to be including these in the schools and they are starting with the SHS, I think they need to create a space for this disabled people, especially when it comes to staircase. Because when you go to certain school, they are actually disabled people, and then getting those people to even go to their classes at the top is very hard. So if they are going to be including this in the schools, they are including this, they are reenacting the Constitution, then I think they should create a more conducive environment for these people, such as maybe there could be a lift in the school, or maybe a path where the disabled people can actually use for comfortability.
I think their institutions should be made in a special way.
A
very special way.
Yeah.
You have the Lego, you can walk. Sometimes it's annoying when you have lectures and then you have to be climbing.
Like
you're not even
hectic.
feeling well, but you have to.
Hectic.
Very, very hectic.
Yeah.
So it should be like something. The environment should be just conducive for them.
Yeah, it should be comfortable to suit their situation. Yeah, so disability doesn't mean you are inability to work. All right, moving on to our next story. Private interest undermining redevelopment of Tema Children's Park. Former mayor of Tema, David Annan, has expressed deep concern over the deterioration of the Tema Children's Park, warning that private interests are undermining the original purpose of the public space. He lamented the current state of neglect at the once vibrant facility, which was designed to meet the social and educational needs of residents, especially children. The Tema Children's Park, which sits on 1.7 acres of land, was originally established as a recreational and educational hub. It houses the only operational public library in the area and has served for decades as a vital space for outdoor activities and learning. But Dr. Anna noted that our challenge is that private interests is overriding the public interest with which the area was reserved for. When private individuals enter, the place will be developed, yes, but not for the purpose it was intended for. It becomes concrete, not green. He further noted that while serving as mayor, several proposals were brought to him regarding the redevelopment of the space, but most, he said, were commercial in nature and did not align with the park's intended function. He said, Tema was built with spaces deliberately left for outdoor events and public use. The 31st December movement added sculptures, and the park was actively used. But now, it's been abandoned and overtaken by interests that do not value its heritage. Mr. Annan stressed the importance of preserving Tema's green belt and criticized the growing trend of turning parks and open spaces into concrete infrastructure. Yeah, so that is coming from the former mayor of Tema. And he's saying that the Tema Park has been abandoned for years, in as much as they have the vision to, rebrand it and redevelop the place. All the proposals that have been coming to his desk, that has been coming to his table, are not aligning with the purpose for which the park was actually built for. Now, should that be the case? Because if he was someone, he will pass back door and, invite these investors to come and develop the park into just for his own personal gain. But that hasn't been the case. What do you think government needs to do with regards to this issue by redeveloping the children's park? Not necessarily for the children, but this is actually a big park, 1.7 hectares of land that can actually be used for outdoor events. Who knows, maybe Independence Day we can even go and do it there. Yeah, so in your own opinion, what do you think the government can do with regards to this issue, Ms. Debbie?
Well, let me take it from this opinion.
Right.
We are in a country where we are so interested in bringing up a nice initiative and stuff, and then after it is established, we leave it to rot. I mean, we start from the beginning, it's a success, but then along the line, when it becomes a sole interest of a particular person, or when the government starts to lack interest in that particular initiative, like it becomes useless, and then the money that has been pumped into it are left to go just like that. With this park, as you read, it's a place for library, and I know it's a place of comfort, and as children, I mean, children likes a place that is so luxury. I'm sure it doesn't only have a library. I'm sure it has a playground for these children as well. Park, and I also know that parents will go with their kids on weekends, holidays, for you to have a comfort. I mean, it's not always about you learning, but once in a while you go out, you have fun, you read some books, you play some more. Yes. But the problem now is it has been left to rot, right? Because we feel like, should I say it's politically motivated?
How is it politically motivated?
Because it belongs to the state, right? It belongs to the state.
Yes.
And then when you go in there, you pay, and the money goes to the state.
Yes.
Or it doesn't go to
it
goes
a revenue for
and
the
it doesn't even serve only Ghanaians.
No.
I'm sure people from
for
other countries
events,
also come. Yes.
Yeah. So they pay for it.
They pay for it.
If you want to, create have an event there.
They pay for it.
Yeah, they do.
So me, in a way, I feel like it's kind of politically motivated to more.
How?
Because if a new government comes into power,
okay,
and then you see the affairs of that, we have layers of people in every institution. You don't just go straight to the government.
Okay.
And so all this money that has been collected from the day this park was, built up, what was it used for? Who are the people in charge? Because if the money goes through the right channels, I'm sure it will be used to improve the park as a whole. So in my understanding of it being politically motivated, basically is you come into power, you feel like, well, the previous administration that came into power milked from this, so I should also do my best and then try as much as possible to get what I'm supposed to get from this particular, from this particular, should I say sector? It's not a sector. Give me a word. My English is finished.
Is it events ground?
Exactly, from this particular events ground. Now let's take Efua Sutherland Park for instance.
Right.
I was there I think last year, and it was bad.
Oh,
I've been really.
it's not green again.
It's not green. You know, this woman, she has a lot of books, and most of the time, it was named after her because the park was built somewhere in 1957, 1997, thereabouts. But they just want to appreciate the woman, so it was named after her. And then when you read her books, most of her books, you see the first Sutherland Park in it, and I mean the kind of words you read about, like it's so nice. So like last year I decided to go and see it for myself, and it was bad. You see, I mean littering, rubbers, most of the furniture that have been used in creating the place has worn out. And I was like, what is this? It's for the state. It generates revenue for the state because we have people, and that it was a program that was done there. And the person doing the program is not from Ghana. He's a Nigerian. And I'm sure he paid for that particular event center.
Oh, yes.
He paid for it. So why won't we do something about it?
The question we should even be asking ourselves is, so those monies, what are they using it for?
Where does it even go to?
Right.
Because it's a big event center, and I will tell you that it hosted more than 1,000 people because it's Swankasa. But then when you get there, it's not attractive. Even when it has worn out, can't we paint it? Paint here to make it more attractive. And I was happy when I saw the tourism minister, Jifar Blagoma, she's trying to revive that place. Yeah. And it's a good call. So I feel that when it has to do with these event centers, we have a lot to do. And what the government can do is, in as much as you have to invest into it, this is something I'll always say. Are we supervising the place? Who is in charge?
Who is in charge?
Even if the person is in charge, the reports that get to you, is it the right report? And what are you supposed to do? I feel like in as much as we have supervisors, once in a while, go there yourself, get on ground, speak to the people, listen to them. Because most of the times, all these survey they go for, they filter it, and then the ones with sweet words gets to you. So in a simple term, I feel like that's what the government should do. You invest more into it, and then you ensure that there is strict supervision that goes on there. And then all those infrastructure that are worn out, I mean, you renovate it and then make it attractive because it doesn't serve only Ghanaians.
But would you agree to the fact that lack of supervision is actually part of the factors the Tema Park is actually in this situation?
Oh yes, it is part.
It is part.
Because I'm sure the government will invest into it, but those receiving the money, the intermediaries, are they using the money for its intended purpose? The answer is no, because when you get on ground, what is on paper is not what is on ground. So there is no tight supervision. Even the person who is asked to supervise, when it gets on ground, he takes transport fares into a draw on Kano.
All right, Miss Regina, what are your thoughts from the former mayor?
Okay, so public spaces are meant for public use,
right?
And first off, I would say one thing the government can do is to pass stricter rules from should I say people from the private sectors or people who want to encroach on public lands illegally, because public lands are public lands.
Yeah.
Let's take, for instance, people encroaching on government lands. At the end of the day, the government makes sure that these people leave such lands. So they should pass the same law to public spaces. And this public space is a space where everyone get in touch with it. Everyone uses that land. As she said, a Sutherland Park. We use a Sutherland Park for a whole lot of activities, in as much as it is a recreational playground, but we use it for a whole lot of activities. Even people can use it as an event center. You can even use it for your own personal interest and all that. And kids especially need this kind of playgrounds, because in every country there's a playground. So I wouldn't see why Ghana as a country would wouldn't want to invest in their playgrounds.
Right.
So he's saying that private interests are undermining redevelopment. I don't think this should be the case because it is a playground. It
Yeah.
is a public space. So why should private interests undermine the development of that particular playground? Whoever is in charge of it should make sure that whatever they need to put in place to make sure that the playground is thriving or it comes back to life should send a petition to the government or send things like
Yeah, should address the government.
exactly to
Right.
outline measures to make sure that this is what we can do to make sure that our playground is back to life. This is what we can do to make sure that our playground is full of people, and it also creates revenue to the government. So I don't know why they want to say private interest is undermining it. For that, I don't agree with
Yeah,
it.
for that. But right here in Ghana, can we boast of any park, like any recreational park at all, right here in Ghana? I know we have the Four Sutherland Park, which I don't know. Looking at how it's looking,
We can't boast of anything.
we can't boast of any park like a recreational
No, no,
park.
no.
Oh, then we have a lot to do as a country. All right, moving on. Women's Development Bank critical to closing credit gap for female-led businesses. Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana has stated that the establishment of a Women's Development Bank is expected to help address the long-standing credit access constraints facing women-led enterprises across various sectors, including trade, agriculture, and technology. Delivering remarks on behalf of the governor at the 2025 African Financial Inclusion Policy Initiative meeting, the first deputy governor, Dr. Zakaria Mumuni, stated that the move forms part of broader effort to advance gender-inclusive financial policies. He stated, beyond access, we are also committed to gender-inclusive finance. In 2023, Ghana joined the African Development Bank Affirmative Finance Action for Women in Africa initiative, supporting financial institutions to unlock credit for women entrepreneurs through risk sharing and technical assistances. The establishment of the Women's Development Bank was a key promise by President John Dramani Mahama ahead of the 2024 elections. It is a special purpose bank run by women to support women-owned and women-led businesses with low-interest loans and other tailored financial services on very flexible terms. This is aimed at economic empowerment of millions of Ghanaian women. So the Bank of Ghana has confirmed that the government is setting up a Women's Development Bank to help women-led businesses get easy access to loans and credit. So the new bank will focus on key sectors like agriculture, trade, and technology, and is seen not just as a social support but also a smart economic strategy to boost Ghana's development. Now, looking at the key sectors that are mentioned here, in your opinion, do you think there should be any sectors that should be included? Looking at agriculture, trade, and then technology. Miss Regina? Yeah.
Sectors included like how?
The new bank will focus on key sectors like agriculture, trade, and then technology. Do you think the government is spot on looking at the sectors they've mentioned or the sectors they are focusing on? Is there any sector you think they should include?
Oh, no. That's all. Because
all?
women are mostly involved in agriculture, trade, and what you mentioned.
Technology.
Technology, yes. Technology.
Right. But in your opinion, what do you think of the establishment of the Women's Development Bank, especially for women for easy access to loan and low interest on loans?
So women in Ghana, in accessing credit or loans, they find it important, they find it difficult, first off, lack of collateral, like land or property. And secondly, gender bias in some lending institutions. Because sometimes some people will be like, no, bad, yeah, what the loan will come and at the end of the day, not washano. And thirdly, limited financial literacy support. Most of these people do not, should I say, in a way, they are not really educated much about that. And some, I would say that some loan facilities will take advantage of that and even impose higher interest rates. So limited financial literacy support is also a factor. And as I said, the high interest loans from especially informal sources and all that. So the Women's Development Bank would focus on addressing these challenges by offering tailored financial products, lower interest rates, business advisory and training services, and lastly, support for informal sector transition to formal businesses. So it's good.
It's good. Wow. Miss Devi.
Yeah, so developing banks for women.
Yeah. And they are focusing on 3 sectors.
Oh, it's good. Agriculture,
technology and trade. What
and
about
trade.
the businesses? Those
Which
with
businesses?
vocational, or they are all parts of trade?
That can be trade now. No. Trade
Okay.
includes all the
Because it looks like them,
ingredients
they
involved.
earn, like they need real investment.
Yeah, so
Because-
it just fall down under trade.
Okay.
Because trade has to do with business,
Yeah.
and whether you're a caterer, you are still you are doing a business.
Okay.
Whether you are a fashion designer or you are a hairdresser, it's also a business. It generates money.
Yeah, so they are all under trade.
So they are all under trade.
Right, thank
So
you.
with the government coming up with a bank for women, it's very good. If you look at this century, and if you want to know among the genders, the people who are so into like business is women.
But is the bank going to serve only women?
It's not going to serve women, but it wants to.
The main focus will be
It
women.
you just want to cancel this gender
It is a
inequality.
woman bank.
So it will serve only
Women
women.
banks, only
Yes,
women.
only women.
That is why I said
So
that
only
it wants
women
to
can go for
cancel
loans.
this notion of gender inequality.
Oh.
That is it. So it is women. That's what I'm saying. That if you look at survey and if you see of late, like in our day, so we are in the 21st century. The people like among male and female, women are more into business than men.
So that also means that women take more loans than.
Oh yes, hey, Emma. They take loans, and we have women that when they venture into this business and they feel like they stop. We have people who are business minded. They feel like this business is not going to generate any good income for them. They do away with that business and they are thinking about a different thing.
Right.
So with them bringing in the women bank, like financial inclusion. So women are often face barriers of accessing money. When you go to bank to access money, there are when you are going for loan, there are criteria you are supposed to follow. Is it follow? Yes.
Yeah.
There are criteria you are supposed to meet
Right.
for you to be granted that loan. And imagine my grandmother, who is so much into agriculture, and then you get in there, they look at you because you're not wearing coats. They feel like it's scanning to me for a mouth. They feel like when they give you that money, you cannot, because you have to tell them that this is the business I'm going to do. The money you are lending to me, this is what I'm going to do. And in the next 5 months or 3 months, I have a vision myself to acquire this sum of money. And within the pace of 1 month, I'll come and pay the loan. But when they see people in court, especially you from inside, they've seen you park your car and stuff. You don't have to talk too much. I mean, you get the loan. So with this, it covers everyone.
It covers
Whether
everyone.
you are a government worker and you still want to invest into trade, whether you are a normal farmer and then you're a normal farmer, it covers everybody. And I feel like it wants to push this kind of trust in female business women. We have a lot of susu group in this country.
A lot, plenty.
A lot of them, they do not have they are not fully licensed by the government,
right?
And they'll bring you book. They are taking money. At the end of the day, they run with your money. Even we've seen one here in this country. Men's whatever. At the end of the day,
it's okay.
I don't have money, but I could see here. I'm just using it as a echo see
Men's gold.
Men's gold. Echo see here.
I was not here.
People died because Omusika came.
Right. People died.
Do you know how we feel when you invest? Like you
died.
save? Yes.
People died.
People died. One day. A lot of people died because of that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You are saving money.
I knew people
And
fell sick.
the offer was so enticing. The offer was so enticing. So you would like to invest. Oh, it's true. The offer was enticing. So people were investing like money, huge sum of money. And at the end of the day, shoom. People died.
That's so sad.
People went
It
through
could
a
be
lot.
possible people died because obi oti say nisika
Nisika she
ashia
10 pesos crown.
Everton so ebi obi faint you no nya hypertension.
Most of them are in their
people
grave
died,
because of this issue. So I feel like they want to put this kind of trust in them against, like you can rely on the government. There is no way a government institution is going to collapse. It won't collapse. Even if it is at the verge of collapsing, they will get people that will partner with the government to uphold it back to its feet. So I believe that government institutions do not just collapse like private institutions. So I feel like with the government, you have this sole trust in the government.
Right.
Mesika or every 10 years cry message Mesika. At the end of the day, I'll still get
you
my
still
money.
get your money.
So they are trying to push this kind of trust in the women as well. Then economic growth. Women's economic participation is crucial for countries' overall economic development. And as the saying goes, if you educate a man, you educate one person. If you educate a woman, you educate the whole world. It's also the same thing as business now. Because if a woman is doing business, trust me, it does not only help the country in terms of our economy advancement as well, but then if you swear boy. And most men see women to be a liability because you don't have anything to do. But if this is coming, they give you loan, you start a business, you help the family. A boy cry, a poverty cry, so at it.
But is that
you
not
get it?
Discriminating the men? Like discriminating the men? Don't you?
We are not discriminating them. Because
we also have men also in their grade, their technology, and then their trade as well.
This one, that is how God created me. I don't know how I'm going to talk on behalf of the men again.
I see.
Because I thought, even though some men struggle, but then I'll say that it's not that high than when it comes to women, especially women who are illiterate and they're into this business. They have this aim of doing business and stuff, and the kind of struggles they go through. And then addressing specific needs, women may have unique financial challenges, as I said, such as lower income or different spending patterns. So a bank for women will offer products and services designed to address these specific needs. And you see, it's going to bring the best out of this market women, because when you're going in for the loan, they'll definitely tell you this is by 2 months you should be able to get something out of this money.
Right.
And so going for the money in your mind, like you're not going to just spend the money and then spend it just like that. So you're going to work with it so that at the end of the 2 months, when the result is positive and you're going in, they can give you ×2 of what you've earlier took. So it's going to bring the best, like a best show moon crying to do more. And I feel like women are not going to be a liability on their husband, because since it is loan, because Jimmy loan must share me business as I can, certain things I can provide. I won't come to you for basic stuff. Now I'm bedani.
Right.
So for the women bank,
it's a good call.
I'm sure, President Mahama. I'm sure.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on the news headline review. Up next, we have Debbie's Girl.
Good morning, and thank you for joining me on Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that concern the state, void of politics, fear or favor. Independent Member of Parliament for Walensea and Member of Parliament Environment Committee, Stanley Yao, has expressed strong optimism that Ghana will ultimately triumph in the fight against illegal mining. He said the government and relevant stakeholders are rolling out strategic and sustainable interventions to tackle the problem. The Walensea Member of Parliament stressed that a forceful approach alone will not solve the problem, emphasizing the need for community-sensitive strategies that consider the livelihoods of those involved. Dealing with the issue of Galamsey is a matter of using strategic measures which will be adopted and not just forced, he said. He also highlighted the devastating environmental damage caused by illegal mining. So the Independent Member of Parliament for Walensea, Mr. Stanley Yao, is saying that he has this strong feelings in the current administration that we will surely overcome Galamsey, illegal mining in the country. And the question is when? When are we going to overcome illegal mining in the country? You are talking about strategic measures. What are the strategic measures? Because so far, the measures you are bringing on board is the same thing we've experienced with previous administrations. So if you are saying that very soon and very soon, we are going to overcome Galamsey, are you saying that in the pace of a week, we are going to overcome Galamsey? Or you are saying that before we sleep this, excuse me, before we sleep this evening and then wake up the next morning, I mean, we'll have this news full of happiness and joy that illegal mining has come to a halt, people involved in it has been arrested and prosecuted. Is that what you are trying to say? Because what you are saying comes with a different meaning. You see, this current administration, before coming into power, made a whole lot of promises. And one of their key targets was to fight against Galamsey, was to fight against illegal mining. I remember before the ending of last year, they were part of the demonstrators. It got to a time they demonstrate on their own. And we have some citizens joining them, with the likes of Okujeto Ablakwa, with the likes of the current Minister of Communication, with the likes of the current Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, demonstrating here and there, petitioning the previous administration that they should bring an end to illegal mining, and that illegal mining is causing a lot of harm to the country. It is destroying our water bodies, and they appeal to Ghanaians to vote for them. I can remember all of this. They should vote for them, and that they want to bring an end to illegal mining. And that is in fact, that is the thing they are going to focus on immediately they assume office. How many months have they been in office? Do we still experience Galamsey, or has Galamsey been halted? We still see videos where people are on site mining. We see videos where people have the courage to video themselves whilst mining, telling the government to give them a grace period, and that is the only means of survival. And the question is, are they seeing all these videos, or we are the only people chancing these videos? Are they seeing the pictures going around? They've talked about deploying military personnel. We've experienced that in the previous administration. Still, illegal mining is ongoing. They talk about burning of champagnes, excavators. This was the same administration that's condemned the previous administration because they were burning excavators. When they came into power, they did the same thing. And the most painful aspect of it was when foreign nationals were involved in Galamsey. They were being caught red-handed, and the only thing we could do was to deport them. Go to your country. Your government will deal with you. And we feel like when they get to their country, their government is going to deal with them. No, it's not going to happen. The government can sympathize with you and tell you that yes, we are going to do this, but are you there? These foreign nationals are so bold to walk into our forest reserves to mine because allegedly they have a link with some top government officials and they are not doing anything about it. In the face of Ghanaians, you are fighting illegal mining. Behind doors, you are pushing for the increase of illegal mining in this country. You see, we are talking about these illegal mining things and then we feel like it's a joke. It's kind of pain me when I come to sit here and then talking about illegal mining, because I can remember we've talked about this issue for a countless number of times and then we still experience the same thing. Is it that, excuse me, our leaders are not reasoning enough? Is it, what at all is our problem? I don't know. And the most painful aspect is that we, the citizens, are refusing to reason. We are refusing to think. You see, those selfish top politicians or top government officials are using us to gain money for themselves. They are using us to gain money. At the end of the day, if today we sit here and then there is a report that, Ghana has short, we are in crisis. They have visa to fly outside the country. Do you have visa? Where are you going to? You will get the money today, you are happy. But trust me, at the end of the day, you use that money to cure yourself. Today you are happy because when you dig a gold, you get, God knows how much you are being paid. And then you are happy, destroying farmlands. You see, nature alone is not going to judge you. But one day you are going to speak while you are destroying lands that was created for our own benefit. You are destroying it. And I'm sure one day our officials, our top government officials, our politicians are going to they are going to answer these questions. And I don't know the reason why they don't want to come out with a solution. I believe it's not as if they don't have a permanent solution to ending illegal mining. They have, but they don't want to. Because they are benefiting from it. And you see, the saying that politicians are the same is true. It's true. Because if the member of parliament for Williamson is telling me that very soon they are going to end illegal mining, when? When are they going to end illegal mining? And instead of you to find measures to put in place, measures that will help in curbing illegal money completely, you come on national television and then you are crying. And you feel that is going to help us stop illegal mining. You feel that is going to help us, that is going to end galamsey in the country. No, it's not going to end galamsey. It's a pity when you get on the ground, you see our lands devastated, our water bodies polluted. It's a pity. Yes, you can cry, but not on national television. You are being appointed to work on the ground, not to come and cry. I'm sure if we know you are coming to cry, you won't be appointed. They gave that nod to you because they believe you can do something. And you see, when this current administration was in opposition, they made a lot of promises. Yes, their term is not yet ended. But for me, I feel like their input in curbing galamsey is getting nowhere. It's just like adding something more to what the previous administration did. I was very happy when they mentioned key people allegedly we know that they are involved in illegal mining. But after those people has been pointed out, what's next? We are part of the increase of the ongoing illegal mining in our forest reserves in our communities. Because the people are arrested, at the end of the day, we allow them to go scot-free. They don't face the law. Nothing is done to them. and they feel like, oh, they can mine and then go just like that. I've seen videos where people mined just behind, the buildings of a relative. And then we feel like it's a joke. We don't take it so seriously. We feel like we are in Accra. We are in Accra, but then we'll feel the impact. Because if the water is polluted, when you open your tap, it's not the same water we are using here. It's the same water we are using here. When it becomes so tense, we will feel the impact here. Let's do something about illegal mining. It's getting out of hand. Yes, the government is putting things in place. The government is coming up with strategic measures. For how long are they going to come up with strategic measures? For how long are they going to come up with measures that will end illegal mining completely? Without any back and forth statements. Today you come, you say this, tomorrow you do this. Blue Water Initiative, even military went on ground. And solve illegal mining. Are you sure these Blue Water Initiative people are going to solve illegal mining? Whilst we have even our security personnel that are supposed to ensure that these people are arrested, allegedly are in connection with them, how well are we going to stop this illegal mining? It's getting out of hand though. We are saying this thing as a joke, but it's getting out of hand. Imagine you don't have any place to go. Those political officials, they have like 3 visas of different countries. They fly in and out just like the way you travel to your village. If today there is a problem, they are going to leave you behind because they've amassed some worth for themselves. What of you? What do you have? They are playing with your emotional intelligence. And because of a penny, you are happy. With boldness and confidence, destroying lands, polluting water bodies, and you feel like it's okay. If this is the behavior we'll continue with, then in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years to come, Ghana will not be in a good state. It will not be in a good state. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.
Thank you so much. And that was the Debbie's Grill. Up next, we have Today in History with Miss Regina Bless.
Today in history, armed forces from communist North Korea smash into South Korea. North Korea invaded South Korea, marking the start of the Korean War. The conflict arose from the division of Korea after World War II, with the Soviet Union establishing a communist regime in the north and the United States supporting a non-communist government in the south. The invasion led to a 3-year war where the United States, under the auspices of the United Nations, intervened to defend South Korea. King of Pop, Michael Jackson dies at age 50. Michael Jackson, widely known as the King of Pop, passed away on this day 2009 at the age of 50. His death, ruled as a homicide due to cardiac arrest caused by a lethal combinations of sedatives and propofol, occurred in Los Angeles. Michael Jackson's career began with the Jackson 5 and continued with immense success as a solo artist. Producing iconic albums like Thriller and Off the Wall, his influence on music, dance, and pop culture was profound, leaving a lasting legacy that continues to inspire. On the 9th of June 25, 1996, a bomb was detonated detonated near the Kobata housing complex in Dhahran, Saudi Arabia, killing 19 airmen and injuring more than 400 U.S. and international military members and civilians. Congress passes Mann Act aimed at curbing sex trafficking. The Mann Act, also known as the White Slave Traffic Act, was passed by Congress on June 25, 1910 to combat sex trafficking. It made it a federal crime to transport women across state lines for prostitution or debauchery or for any other immoral purpose, according to PBS, while intending to address false prostitution. Its broad language led to its use in other contexts, including cases of consensual sexual activity and even political persecution. Independence Day in Mozambique celebrated. It is a significant national public holiday commemorating the country's liberation from Portuguese colonial rule on June 25, 1975. After enduring over 4 centuries of colonization by Portugal and a decade-long struggle known as the Portuguese Colonial War, Mozambique finally achieved independence. Day of the Seafarer. The Day of the Seafarer is observed annually as a global event that recognizes the contributions of seafarers to international trade and the global economy. Particularly, their crucial role in ensuring the delivery of goods to people worldwide. It is a day to acknowledge the sacrifices they make, often working far from home, to keep supply chains functioning and deliver essential items. The International Maritime Organization instituted this day to highlight the importance of maritime carriers and the work done by seafarers. Color TV Day is celebrated annually to commemorate the introduction and popularization of color television, while the first color TV broadcast occurred in 1951. It wasn't until the early 1970s that color sets became a mainstream household item. This day is also observed as National Catfish Day. It recognizes the importance of farm-raised catfish. And lastly, this day is observed as World Vitiligo Day. The World Vitiligo Day is observed. It is an initiative aimed to build global awareness about vitiligo. Vitiligo occurs in 1 to 2% of the population worldwide, a change of color in the skin, creating a variety of patterns on the skin from the loss or lose of pigments. And that's all for today. On Today in History and Observances of the Day, live on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina Bless, for that fascinating fact. At least you've educated us this morning. Thank you. So before we leave, COVID-19 is emerging again. So mask up. Be careful out there. Social distancing. Wash your hands with soap and running water. All right. This is where we draw the curtains for the first segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Right after this, we'll be coming up with the news. And after the news, we'll be coming up with the second segment. Please stick and stay with us.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
We bring you local Local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Good morning and welcome to the morning news broadcast live on GhanaTalks Radio. Coming up, Parliament approves 7 Supreme Court nominee amid minority protest. Minority pledges to support dismissed Bank of Ghana staffs and fight for reinstatement. Ghana to maximize efficiency in production. NDC endorses National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving. These and many more coming up shortly in business, sports, and showbiz. My name is Deborah Adoso. Parliament has approved the appointment of 7 Supreme Court nominees, despite strong objections from the minority caucus. The minority leader expressed worry about the majority's prioritization of political convenience over constitutional principles. However, the majority leader, Mahama Yarega, defended the approval of each nominee. According to him, the nominees were thoroughly vetted and deemed competent to serve on the nation's highest court. President Mahama nominated these 7 judges in April 2025 as part of effort to independence. The nomination was made in accordance with Article 144, Clause 2 of Ghana's 1992 Constitution.
The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. This Honorable House has accordingly approved the nominations of His Excellency the President of the following persons as Justices of the Supreme Court in accordance with Article 1442 of the 1992 Constitution, respectively. Honorable members, the judges involved are Justice Senyo Jamafe, Justice Sir Dennis Dominic Ajayi, Justice Biel Simon Surbare, Justice Philip Bright Mensah, Justice Janapari Adwa Batels Kuju, Justice Hafisata Amaliboba, and Justice Kweku Tewia Aka Buofu. Honorable members, on your behalf and on behalf of the Parliament of Ghana, I congratulate the 7 judges for the recognition, for the public hearing, and for the prior approval given by this House. I recommend them into the hands of His Excellency the President to proceed to appoint these judges as Justice of the Supreme Court of Ghana.
Another story, the minority is standing firm in their support for 100 Bank of Ghana workers who were dismissed. The minority, led by Member of Parliament for Savlugu, Abdul Aziz, he has vowed to use every legal, parliamentary and democratic rule. Meanwhile, the minority argued that the dismissal were unlawful and acted without due process.
The disregard for Parliament here. It is particularly troubling that the Bank of Ghana proceeded with these dismissals while a motion for a parliamentary inquiry is pending before the House. This is a slap in the face of Parliament and disregard for democratic oversight. No institution should act with such impunity. The human cost. These are not just numbers. These are hard-working Ghanaians, young professionals, parents, and breadwinners who followed the rules and believe in fairness. They now face economic hardship, psychological distress, and shattered dreams. This is more than a legal issue. It is a moral crisis. Our demands here, justice now. The minority in Parliament stands shoulder to shoulder with these workers, and we will not waver. We demand, 1, immediate reinstatement. The Bank of Ghana must restore every single dismissed worker to their rightful position without any further delay. Their appointments were lawful, their terminations were not. 2, accountability from the governor. The governor of the Bank of Ghana must face Parliament and explain this heartless abuse of power. You are not above the law, and you will answer to the people. 3, action from labor authorities. We call on the Chief Labor Officer, the National Labor Commission, and the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, to intervene immediately to protect these workers, uphold their rights, and stop this lawlessness. 4, legal redress. To the dismissed workers, we say, the law is your shield. Under Article 33 of the Constitution, we have the right to seek justice in the courts. We stand ready to support you. 5, parliamentary result. The minority will push a motion for a full parliamentary inquiry with unrelenting vigor. We will expose this injustice, work tirelessly to reverse these terminations, and hold the government accountable. And by saying this is not just about these 100 workers. It is about the soul of our republic. We must choose between the rule of law by degree. Parliament must stand firm. Institutions must act within the law. Workers must be protected. The minority chooses the rule of law. We choose justice. We choose the people. We will fight with every legal, parliamentary, and democratic tool at our disposal until every worker is reinstated, every wrong is righted, and every institution is reminded that it serves the people of Ghana, not the powerful few. To the Bank of Ghana, you have broken the law, betrayed your mandate, and won the trust of our nation. You cannot hide behind secrecy or power. The people of Ghana are watching, and you will be held to account. To the dismissed workers, you are not forgotten. Your pain is our pain. Your fight is our fight. The minority in Parliament stands with you, heart and soul. We will not rest until your jobs are restored, your dignity is reclaimed, and your future are secured. To the people of Ghana, let us defend our democracy and demand accountability. May God bless our homeland, Ghana, and I thank you.
And that was from the Minority Caucus in Parliament. In other news, Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture John Dumelo has reiterated the need for Ghana to shift from a consumption-driven economy to a production-oriented one. This change, he believes, is crucial for maximizing efficiency, enhancing food security, and expanding Ghana's export potential. He advocates for a deeper collaboration with technologically advanced nations investigations. Dumelo also encourages Ghanaians to support local poultry farmers by consuming locally produced chicken.
Well, the country is on the verge of massive transformation, and this kind of transformation involves the agricultural sector. For us as a people and for us as a government, what is most important to us is to be able to feed ourselves, to feed the industries, and export the rest. Adding value before we export the rest. But we need something which is important. We need efficiency. Efficiency because we need to maximize the use of the land that we have. Yes, Ghana will say we boast of millions of hectares of land. But the truth is, some of the most developed countries are using the few acres of land that they have to maximize efficiency. And so we need to maximize efficiency when it comes to agric. But that involves a lot of innovation. And that is why it's important that we partner with countries like China to help us to maximize the use of our land, especially in the transfer of technology.
The National Democratic Congress has officially announced its support for the upcoming National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving at a recent stakeholders meeting with the Event Planning Committee. The NDC chairman Asiedu Nketia highlighted the significance of introspection and a collective reflection in light of the growing influence of money in Ghanaian politics. He warned that this trend could undermine the nation's democratic values. He also urged Ghanaians to use the National Day of Prayer, scheduled for July 1st, and Thanksgiving as a chance to reflect on the nation's values.
Exploitation of our natural resources, and particularly when you look at the moral decadence that is leading us to believe that the more money you have, the wiser you are. And that as we look for leadership in society, we just are concentrating on who pays more. This is clearly a nation doing trouble. We are seriously in trouble. Because people are just talking about who shares more money so that we can vote for that person. Oh, he's generous. Each time you approach, he has money for you. Then that is where you should. Is that the right path for this country? I think that you should spend some moments to think about this. And one of the reflections I want us to engage in is how do we stop this over-monetization of our politics or our struggle to lead the society? How do we deal with it? Because we are clearly on the path to disaster if we are not, as a country, able to do anything. On this note, I want to thank you very much for coming, and I'd like to associate myself with the sentiments expressed earlier by.
In business, 3 former high-ranking officials of the Ghana Revenue Authority, including the immediate past Commissioner General, Reverend Dr. Amisha Dayo Usu Amwa, are currently in the custody of the Office of the Special Prosecutor in connection with the ongoing investigation into the Strategic Mobilization Limited scandal. Also being held are Dr. Isaac Crinsel and Christian Tete Soti, both former top officials of the Revenue Authority. According to a release by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, the arrests are linked to ongoing investigations into suspected corruption and corruption-related offences in respect to contracts between the Ghana Revenue Authority and SML for Revenue Assurance Services. The probe also seeks to verify SML's claims that its services have been saving the nation's significant revenues. The arrest comes amid growing scrutiny over the controversial SML deal, which has raised questions about possible financial misconduct and irregularities in contract execution. Still on business news, the Ghana Revenue Authority has announced a 15% value-added tax on non-life insurance premiums, effectively July 1st, 2025. The new tax will apply to policies covering areas such as property, health and travel, but notably motor insurance will remain exempt. The policy, which forms part of measures outlined in the 2025 national budget, is expected to widen the country's tax net and boost revenue for public services. For businesses and individuals, this means higher premium on non-life insurance products. Consumers seeking coverage in sectors like property, health or travel may not pay more, potentially pushing some to reconsider or reduce coverage levels. While the move may strengthen government revenue, it could also place an added financial burden on households and SMEs already navigating a high inflation environment. To sports, Mohamed Osman Nkosi, Vice President of the Ghana Federation of American Football, made a strategic appearance at the 2025 USA Football Summer Series in Los Angeles. His presence at this flag football event marks a significant milestone in Ghana's aspiration to be recognized among the emerging nations developing flag football globally, especially as the sport gears up for its debut at the 2028 Olympic Games. During his visit, Mr. Nkosi met with top-level leaderships from USA Football, including Chief Executive Officer, High Performance Director, coaches, and several senior officials. These meetings focus on collaborative opportunities, talent development, and Ghana's participation in the global flag football conversation. In addition to the engaging USA executives, Mr. Nkosi also held productive exchanges with key representatives from other leading federations: Ghana, Japan, Mexico, Australia, and Korea, laying the groundwork for international friendly games, advanced cooperation, and knowledge sharing. He was accompanied by Chadwick, head football coach of West Potomac High School, as part of GFAF's broader international engagement initiative. This international outreach is part of a larger vision by GFAF to ensure Ghana plays a meaningful role in global flag football ecosystem, especially as Africa begins to emerge as a promising frontier for African football's growth. In showbiz, the National Theatre of Ghana has signed a memorandum of understanding with Image Bureau and April Communication in Accra. The signing was to create the platform for all three entities to come together to work on the production and staging of one of the most iconic African plays, titled Death and the King's Horseman. Mr. Herin Herbert Mann, Executive Director of National Theatre, said the memorandum aligned with the theatre's mandate to facilitate the development and promotion of the performing arts industry. This is the mandate that the National Theatre has delivered on service since it opened its doors to the public in 1992 and continues to do so to this day. The signing is just another chance to assure our clients of our unflinching support for the ingenuity and industry. He said it would not only help develop the country, but help to create jobs and pass on positive messages that will help the growth of society to patrons. He noted that the theatre will play host to showcase play, and we want to use this occasion to kickstart the publicity for the show. This is the more reason why our resident groups will join in as available support to make their program successful. He said the aim was to reach out to a vast audience, since messages derived from such performances goes a long way to help shape society. He assured that the theatre was committed and ready for more collaboration in terms of publicity to increase patronage as far as the arts are concerned. Mr. George Quay, Chief Executive Officer, Image Bureau, said the play was written by a Nobel Award-winning writer of Nigeria and it's actually inspired by a true story. He said the enactment of the play was to highlight the need for loyalty, commitment, and more importantly, emphasize the need to preserve and jealously guard the African culture and traditional rites and processes. He said plays like this throw light on our traditions and bring to the realization that our traditions may not be barbaric but have proper significance in society, and it's significant to go back and embrace them to avert the ills of current societies. He noted that they were working with a crew and cast of over 150 people, promising theater lovers an exciting experience filled with lots of lessons to take home. He was optimistic that this collaboration will be more rewarding and exciting. He says even though the play was a difficult and expensive one, the assurances from the theater will make it easier. We believe this is going to be the epitome of theater in Africa. We are going to redefine theater with all the resident groups at the National Theater and a seasoned actors with seasoned actors and actresses. The play will show on August 23rd, 24th, 30th and 31st at the main auditorium of the National Theatre. Now, reports from the Ghana Meteorological Agency had it that misty or foggy conditions will affect areas along the coast, mountainous and forest zones in the early hours of today. Partly cloudy weather is anticipated for most areas within the country this morning. Later in the day, variably cloudy conditions will prevail over southern Ghana, with causes of thunderstorms or rain for few areas along the coast and middle sectors. Northern Ghana will, however, experience sunny conditions with occasional cloud cover with few cases of thunderstorm and rain from the afternoon hours into the evening. Now, some affected towns in Ghana is Aflawu, Accra, Kaswa, Cape Coast, Takoradi, Axim, Ho, Koforidua, Akimoda, Kumasi, Obuasi, Takwa, Seshri, Bekwai, Ketakrachi, Kintampo, Gwoso, Sonyanin, Techiman, Yendi, Tamale, Damongo, Bogatanga, Nalerigu, and Wa. Now, this is how we end this on the morning news in brief on Ghana Talks Radio. Do all to log on to our streaming platforms at GhanaTalksRadio.com, as well as logging on to www.GhanaTalksRadio.com for more detailed information. My name is Deborah Adosu. Do have a blessed morning.
Hello worldwide, I'm with level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. My 20 things about Sam. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say no artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fi spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our Ghana Talks Radio, and yes, say then our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app, no, our Play Store, any App Store. No tune in, and say this what you see, Baba Life on Facebook, Cointakra, any Ghana Talks Radio page, and so now listen, I bet you fire. 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikose, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Ghana Talks Radio, UK, Abrechimemu, era from Ghana Muha at the sound system, which is spinning machine papa, a free amana never be good among Ghana Muha. It is a year, we engagement, we wedding, we birthday party. Political parties are more rally, some way more crusade. So we'll book carnival or any kind of event. Now we'll pay spinning machine papa a boa sound in the moon at the dia any may come for GTR sounds at the MAO. Your live band in so I would tone sa at the frame ya beat me about boa. Ama would you media woody and so at me I come up. Yawa enkan pupuni mantemo anya aponchi hotel a hope pepe ena yebutu odi anse wo be frɛ mpanifo ɛwɔ 0546960510 GTR sounds emu ode angaza.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikose, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion on Ghana Talks Radio. My name is Pakwesi Omare, your regular host for your morning breakfast. You know how we do it on Wednesday mornings. We have the two heavyweight parties in the country go head to head, bar for bar, on topical discussions and some related issues in the country making news. Today I have in the studios with me Mr. Munir, and Ibrahim will also be joining us very soon to have the discussions. But before Ibrahim join us and before we get into the conversations, I want you to log on to our social media platforms to join the conversation. You can join us on all social media platforms at Ghana Talks Radio, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and on X. Our WhatsApp lines are also very active. Our phone lines are very active. You can call in, you can text in, and we will get interactive. Our number is 0202-544-614, 0202-544-614. Our website is www.GhanaTalksRadio.com. On YouTube, you can catch us at Ghana Talks Radio. As I said earlier, we have the representatives for the two heavyweight parties in the studios. And yes, I'm fortunate to have Mr. Munir join me Mune.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Bibi Awoko.
Yamiadum.
Yamiase.
I can see you are finding it difficult to pronounce my name.
It's not me.
Yeah, I know.
I want to get it right.
Yeah, exactly. The name is Abdel Fattah Munir.
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 Yes.
Okay.
When you go to when you go into the political circles, I am known as APM.
Okay. Yeah. So then I will address you with APM. I think that will be more familiar.
Yeah, that will be more easier.
Yeah. So yes, once again, APM, welcome you to Ghana Talks Radio. I think this is your first time here, so
Exactly. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. We are going to have a very beautiful conversation.
Certainly.
I know your party is in power, so you have so many beautiful things to say.
Exactly.
But you know, before we get into the beautiful things, I want to get you on this particular thing.
Okay.
Your party, in opposition, spoke a lot against Galamsey. And we all know the weight of Galamsey.
Yeah.
We all know the consequences that Galamsey brings to us. The effect it is having on us as a people, destroying our water bodies. We have people whose tap waters are no more flowing because Ghana Water is complaining that the waters are not safe anymore for domestic purposes. And so your party spoke against it. They used it as a campaign message. We understood and accepted them. We gave them power. 6 months in power. One of the key major things they mentioned they were going to do was to repeal the LI that permits people to mine illegally in environmental reserves.
In the forest reserve.
Yes, and the timelines have gone by, and we still have the LI existing. Over the weekend, we came to bear that the LI has been amended instead of being revoked or repealed. Is this not a failure on the part of your government? You know, giving us a promise to revoke the LI and now amending it, to repeal it, and now amending it. It's a failure.
Before I start, I want to extend my warmest greetings to Holali himself.
Yeah.
You know, and then my party folks. You see, sincerely speaking, if I'm going to talk without any political
lens,
it is imperative to state that menace such as Galamsey has a very dire consequences on the lives of the ordinary Ghanaian, and in fact, even the elite group, the economy. In fact, it affects every facet of our life as a people. And you see, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking that 6 months on, even though we have achieved a lot in terms of stopping at least some level of mining or Galamsey, let me put it that way. So it is everybody's wish that government will do everything it can to ensure that mining will be done legally. Because as it is, mining is legal, but illegal mining is what is upheld by the law. So trust me, and then trust the government of John Dramani Mahama. We will go through and ensure that that law that permits mining in the
forest
reserve,
water bodies and all,
is regrettable. But I believe strongly, maybe government has considered that repealing the law entirely will not solve the problem.
Wow.
Perhaps.
Okay, that's fair.
You see it?
Yeah.
Because government such as that of John Dramani Mahama, I think will not fail Ghanaians on this.
But we are on the way of failure.
No, you see, is the madness being curtailed? Is it being halted?
Okay.
Are we solving the problem of Galamsey? Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let's take it from this angle.
Okay.
In opposition.
Yeah.
I'm going to go word.
I understand you.
No, let me finish. I get you too. But I am saying this to make you realize, or at least draw your attention on why most of us believe that we are on another road to failure against this fight.
Okay.
In opposition, the president said that the people being arrested are not the ones actually
not the
supposed
who
to
are
be arrested.
behind it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because these guys we see in these pits don't have the resources to be buying these excavators or even to be renting it. We all know how costly it is to get an excavator, even for 2 hours. And they get it for like 6 months, 3 months on their concessions, mining. Exactly. So it's definitely not them. So when he comes to power, he's going to trace to get the kingpins behind it and actually give these ones something better to do, because they're only doing it to survive. That is one thing he said. He also said that the
repeal of that law, that LI,
needs to go. And so once he assumes power, it is going to be repealed.
Okay.
Now we've come to power. You've made over 300 arrests. I'm keeping tabs of your arrests.
Okay.
You've made over 300 arrests. And the only kingpin that has come out has been Wontumi. And that was why the NPP was very loud saying that then this is a witch hunt. Because Wontumi is not the only person, or so as to say the only kingpin behind Galamsey. Why is he the only one being arrested? So all the rest. Secondly, we see the Chinese who are funding these people. When these Chinese people are arrested, we deport them. And then we jail our people. Is that even fair? So you see why the concern keeps growing. And the more concerning part of it is that your people who were loud against Galamsey whilst in opposition are very silent now. The minister for lands and natural resources 4 weeks ago sat on national television and wept to us about what he has seen that he's never seen before, the cancerous activity of Galamsey. And this minister, who has all the tools now to initiate the repealing of the LI that allows people to mine in these forest reserves, a certain Abe, and the LI is still existing. And see, you know why Ghanaians gave you that majority in parliament? You know why?
Of course.
Because of these things, so that you wouldn't even need the opposition. Now you have this number and you are finding it difficult to take actions which will serve the interest of the people who gave you this power. APM, without your political lens, even with your political lens,
yes,
don't you agree with the masses who are complaining that they can't have water to drink now? The masses who are complaining that they are giving birth to deformed babies.
Can I answer?
You can answer now.
You see, you've spoken a lot, and I have to touch on almost everything else you've said.
That's
you see,
fair.
Number one, it's I'm tempted to guess that you have a lot of information the minister may not have with respect to the kingpins in this business. You're a media man.
Yeah.
If you find out that there are a lot of people, including Chama to me, who are messing up our country through illegal mining. You see, you're a Ghanaian. So help the minister with some of this information. That is one.
Okay.
Number two, in my sincere view, what I've realized is that when you look at stories they tell of Galamsey site and the happenings there, the narration alone, the vivid narration, will tell you that the thing was made Galamsey. In fact, it was created as a government machinery that was more powerful than the law that gives us the executive president to run the country. It appears as if the people who formed that cabal are so powerful.
And which people are these?
People in government. They were so, you see, because to the extent that when you hear some of these narratives, that the guns these people wield are even more superior than the ones our military men, use. Isn't that scary? And these stories were told long before our government came into power. It should tell you that this thing, some people, spent a lot of time, a lot of money to build that criminal organization. So it won't be easy like that, to just do away with with it in a very short span, like 6 months. You see, I don't know whether you've heard some of the stories that come from those mining sites. It's scary.
And
those journalists who even go there, when you are telling the story, they tell you how horrific it is.
And so, CEO, now
I understand you that this is government with all the security apparatus to fight these crimes. But you see, the thing was made more powerful in terms of even logistics.
Okay, let me ask this question.
I was answering the question one after the other.
Okay.
You see, and then again, sincerely speaking, as I was saying, we can't say that my government has done nothing about Galamsey.
Sure.
To the extent that you mentioned that our water bodies are still being polluted, it's not fair. You made those statements a while ago.
Aren't they?
Oh, please. We know the improvement so far with regards to, sanitizing our water bodies. We have the stories.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, you see, honestly, some of these matters, we don't tackle it from the point of political, views.
Sure.
Because you see, the repercussions doesn't affect only NDC or MPP.
Exactly.
And this is the only nation,
we have.
Exactly. I only have a Ghanaian passport. So I have nowhere to go if this country, goes into shambles.
Into any matter. Yeah.
So let's be honest and sincere. There is massive improvement in the fight against Galamsey. Only that we have to urge government to do more. You see, we have to urge government to do more. We should help government in solving these matters.
Okay.
So, sincerely speaking, it is not debatable that government is doing something. I know even the MPP will acknowledge that.
Yeah.
And they will only urge government. With regards to the law, the LI that is permitting mining in the forest zones. Once again, I want to state that it does not happen yet, but I think in the government's plans, repealing it will not even solve the problem, except to amend it and ensure that the power to grant that
license,
the license will not be in the hands of central government, but professional bodies who are equipped with knowledge, with skills to determine how mining in the forest zone should be done, where it should be done, and then we are good to go. So let's not hasten to make conclusions that will turn out to be a deception, or you understand. So I think let's hasten slowly. We will get there. You see, what John Dramani Mahama will not do is to fool Ghanaians
Okay.
Even Gabi Wachodako, made those statements that it appears John Mahama is the most readied president.
Okay.
So we will get there.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair. Thank you. Ibrahim.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us on the show.
Yeah, thank you
Been
for
looking forward.
Yes. Thank you very much for hosting me. I think today is my maiden appearance here.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, and good morning to your listeners and all those watching us online.
Sure. So I think you came to meet some discourse between me and your brother here, our brother in here. But so far so good. New government, your party in opposition, an overwhelming defeat at the back of corruption and galamsey and all these things. And we thought some things will be put in place, measured, strategized so much so well before we even see you come out with a hint of hunger for power. And all we see from you people is the hunger for leadership, who is to lead your party and all. I mean, Ibrahim, where your party stands now, do you think that is the fair way to go, or you think it could have been another approach in the hunger for the power in 2028?
Okay. Good morning, and let me first of all, once again, say a very big good morning to your cherished listeners. The MPP had the mandate of the Ghanaian people for 8 good years. And the mandate of Ghanaians that was given to us as a political party was a mandate of perseverance, a mandate of innovative leadership, a mandate of striking pro-poor policies to save the ordinary Ghanaian. The 8-year mandate was when we implemented the almighty free SHS that has saved a lot of poor people, and today we have a lot of medical doctors who never even believed they could go to SHS. The MPP government that Ghanaians gave us the mandate provided the one district, one factory. In some districts had benefited from it.
Really?
Quite a lot, over 200 districts have benefited from the 1D, 1F initiative.
Rahim, are you sure? With this 1D, 1F?
I can mention up to 50 just as I'm sitting, so that your media can verify. You guys are media people. And you know what? When I appear on these platforms, I don't know how to speak, without facts.
Okay.
When I speak, I mention the community or the town, and sometimes even if you want, I can mention the company or the individual behind it. The whole concept of 1D, 1F was that government, having learned from the Nkrumah time to all of that state-owned factories were not being managed properly. Government decided to let the private sector drive the 1D, 1F. So, for instance, if you decide that you want to build a factory in Soto Moanya, you have your land, you have acquired and all of that, you write to the secretariat in charge of 1D, 1F.
Okay.
They come and inspect it, and then they provide 2 things: technical and financial support through the Ghana Exim Bank.
Okay.
So 70% of the investment being made in setting up your factory is a loan.
Okay.
And then 30% was a grant. So that was the whole concept of 1D. It is built in your name. You are the individual entrepreneur who owns it, but part of government 1D, 1F, not owned by the government, but that you pay the loan over a period of time with some other tax incentives that are provided you. That was the whole concept of 1D, 1F. So it was either to establish new ones, to revamp existing ones that are struggling, or to expand the existing ones. That's why you saw Casapreco benefiting. Some people were ignorantly saying that Casapreco had been existing for years. Why do you come and label it 1D, 1F? No. Casapreco came for some expansion, some support to expand. So, and when we do that, we just label it as 1D, 1F, beneficiary or initiative. So let's get that clear. So a whole lot of pro-poor policies were initiated and all of that. Yes, the government, just as any other institution, human institution, face its own challenges, be it the external, be it internal, and all of that. And yes, in 2024, when we sought to renew our mandate for the third time, Ghanaians decided, no, we would like you to go home and allow a different political party to come. So that birthed the NDC's comeback. Okay. And don't let anybody lie to you that this election was the biggest defeat ever in the history of Ghana. It's a big fat lie. It's not true. MPP had...
It's not in the history of Ghana.
In the history of Ghana.
Under the Fourth Republic.
Yes, it's not true. It's a lie to say that under the Fourth Republic, this is the biggest defeat. In 92, the MPP did a little above 30% in the general election, and we didn't even have parliamentary representation. In 96, President Kufuor did 39%, and he didn't even make 40%. But in the 4 years time, he came and led the country, and he had 8 years mandate.
So you believe
President Mahama, as a sitting president, lost the election in 2016 by 44%. That was what he had. But he came back and had one of the biggest, if not even the biggest, but one of the biggest ever win in the Fourth Republic. Is that not it?
Sure.
So we are a political party that believes that the Ghanaian people subscribe to our pro-poor policies. We understand that a growing country and a developing country of our nature needs the MPP in government as long as it can to continue to develop policies that are tailored and national. Not for somebody to come and refurbish Ridge Hospital and say somebody in Bumpurugu should vote for him because he has refurbished Ridge Hospital. That's not it. When we say Agenda 101, Nakpanduru gets its own, Binduru gets its own, Laura gets its own, Dafiama Isa gets its own.
How many of them are in operation?
I mean...
we're in operation.
Yeah. Before you left power.
The Agenda 101 hospitals that were commissioned, I don't have the number at hand, but a lot of them were in various stages of completion. I just hope and pray that this government, Kobnaminta Akando, continues and finishes them. So this government is a continuation and then operationalize these ones for Ghanaians to benefit. So, but a few were commissioned and for use.
Okay, Ibrahim, for the sake of time.
So we are back, and we are in a position. We are regrouping. We began by commissioning the Makokwe report, and then they came back with the report. We are implementing the report and then following the calendar of our party, just to select leadership of our party, to steer the affairs of our party for the next elections ahead. So don't listen to all these noisemakers saying that we came at the back of blah, 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 blah. Oral is there. They can't even prosecute anybody. They're making noise all over. And now they've reduced my uncle Ayini to a press conference, Attorney General. Attorney General, you're working with files, running to court, charging people who are criminals. Don't come and be addressing us with the media. We are tired. It's been 6 months of jokes, 6 months of lies, 6 months of deception, 6 months of arrogance of power. And that's not what we want. Ghanaians have started seeing their true color. He was talking about Galamsey. I'll come to Galamsey very prominently. Look, let him not lie to you that Galamsey has improved. There's nowhere in this country. He's mentioned one river that has improved. Just one. And I'll tell him. I'll just prove him right now. It's lies. The water that was looking like Lipton today is like milk. Very thick. Very, very thick.
The Lipton that you left, your party left.
You see, I mean, I'm that politician who doesn't even like this whole idea. Galamsey is a menace that started prominently in Ghana in 2010. And it's been with us, lingering with us for all this while. It's unfortunate that we have had to endure it. But you see, when politicians are seeking power, when we are seeking to lead the people, we must be very, very careful in the things we say just to seek power. Samuel Nate George, now Minister for Communications, says that Mahama needed just a week to declare state of emergency and then end Galamsey. We've been 6 months. If you mention state of emergency, they will run around, speak grammar and speak everything just to justify to you. These people told us how they were going to fight Galamsey. In fact, even Mahama said he was going to use AI to fight Galamsey. I don't know which AI tool he has deployed so far to fight Galamsey. And you know what? In governance, 1 week is like a year. You get it? 6 months going to the 7th month. These guys are really clueless about how they go about this Galamsey. They have trained blue water gas, yellow water gas, and I learned they've even converted them into police assistants on the street. who would go and fight Galamsey? These guys have to get serious. And Ghanaians have started seeing their deception and their lies and all of that. Look, Erastus Asadonko is the #1 crusader when it comes to fighting Galamsey. You can check his page and see his recent post about national security operatives taking over a mining firm, and they're mining it illegally. And then you follow him. He's the number one crusader when it comes to fighting Galamsey. And if Erastus tells you that Galamsey is even in this worst stage, I don't know why my brother would sit here and say there's improvement. Erastus is the only mouthpiece that these people trusted, and we still all trust. I've never doubted his credibility when it comes to his reporting on Galamsey. Posterity will be fair to him. Even when my government was in power, I was one of his number one defendants. I've been behind him when he won his GGA Journalist of the Year. I celebrated him. Some of my party people were not happy with me, but you know what? I like people who are consistent. Manasi Azure, Erastus Asarodonko, even Franklin Kujo, who even after his lover NDC is in power still criticizes. I still believe in his objectivity. You know what? Prior to 2016, he was just critical on NDC like the way he's been on that. But I'm saying that he should now cut us a slack. We are in opposition. He campaigned vigorously for us to go to opposition. He should begin watching the government and see what they can do. No, I mean he's still jabbing us and insulting us every day on Facebook. I see we are still in government. But I believe in his objectivity. I like people who stand and criticize government tough. People who talk tough when it comes to government initiatives and all of that. But these people they have no clue. And even recently Fitch rated us higher. And out of the 9 reasons that Fitch provided for our economy moving from where it was to the B minus, it's in reference to the domestic debt exchange and then external debt exchange. And these people were roaming all over the place claiming credit. But you know what? I go to every media station and I say it, that look, my philosophy is simple. If a government comes to power, just 2 hours and something good is coming, I give you all the credit. If you come to power 2 seconds and Galamsey is on the rise, I will fire you. Don't come and tell me it was this. It's a cabal. I don't want to listen. You see the doomsday that's lingering around. Don't come and justify this person was owing. You are in government. That's why when the city is rising, we all say, hey, Atu. You say Atu is forcing. Yeah, Atu, you are forcing. That is my philosophy. So you know what? These guys have failed us. They are failing us, and they are bound to fail us. And we are regrouping and coming back in 2028 too.
But you see, in all that you said, you barely touched on the actual question I asked you, Brian. I asked that, looking at where your party stands now.
Where do we stand?
This internal chaos going on.
Where's the chaos? Who are in chaos? There's chaos in MPP.
So the party is healthy.
We are implementing our vision. We are implementing our calendar. Every year, the party has a calendar, which is being set by National Council of our party.
Some of the calendar in your party is when oppositions or opponents go bar for bar as to how somebody's ideas without actions cannot profit a country.
Come on,
I'm asking. That's the healthiness in the party. That
let me tell you something.
You think is
yesterday on one of your sister stations, I stated that look, I am even impressed how people didn't abandon our party after such a defeat, but rather they are back in their full force and they are speaking. And you see, if you are in a family and something happens and everybody decides to stay quiet, it tells you that the spirit of togetherness is gone. But when people comes out to vent out what is worrying them, what they think was the reason why we lost and all of that, it tells you that the spirit of the party is seriously high. The MPP as a political party is on the front pages of the news every day for the past 6 months. We are being discussed every day. And you as a media person, you know the benefits of being in the trends for long, whether for the bad or for the good. You know the benefit. You are a media person. You understand what I'm trying to tell you. The party that people felt people would have folded their arms and say, hey, media, I don't care. They are back and regrouping the party. They are back and talking tough. What do you think went wrong? What do you think didn't go right? And that tells you the spirit of the party is high. There is no crisis in our party. It is lies. These people are diverting us from their cocaine, buying and the settings and all of that, and so they'll come and create an impression that the MPP is fighting. We are not fighting. We are only going through an internal selection of flag bearership. people would have their varied views and criticize and all of that. Sometimes when they go personal, for instance, yesterday, the party had referred the Bono regional chairman to the disciplinary committee. And they'll be meeting him on Thursday, or I'm sure Thursday, tomorrow. And other people, Adjoa and all were subjected. So when people in their exercise,
30 seconds.
When people in their exercise of their concerns go over what the constitution of our party provides, the disciplinary committee, the national disciplinary committee of our national party, refers them, and then they deal with that. So I don't think there are crises in our party, and people are forcing us to believe in that. All of that.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibrahim, for such an introductory submission. Epi,
I think if I keep quiet over some of the comments he made, I wouldn't be fair to my party or Ghanaians.
Okay, AP, I'll only grant you 2 minutes because you've spoken a lot before already.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
You see, all that he said are things that Ghanaians will measure with the reality of today.
Okay.
Whether they created 1D, 1F, which accounting for the even only the numbers is problematic to them. He says here, in fact, people higher than him go to radio stations, TV stations, make pronouncements such as his, and they are unable to provide details. So if after going to opposition you come to, justify the lies you were telling, please, nobody will buy it, will buy that. You see, the reality of the day is that we have seen the city making a lot of progress in terms of the strength. We have seen the repercussions, or let me say, the effects of the strength the city is gaining every day. In our markets, in our pockets. In fact, it is reflecting everywhere. Do you know that we used to hear some of these statements that, oh, no government will come and prices will go down. But have you realized that it's happening today? I sent somebody to buy me sugar. The person brought change. I said, what is happening? He said, what?
Your time is up. So
you see it. So Ibrahim, don't lie to yourself. You see, you are still in opposition. In fact, you are even early days in opposition. And you are beginning to, tell lies like this. It will help you. But you see, the internal wranglings in his party,
he hasn't even been able to state a single lie. You see, these people are...
But to tell us
that labeling and calling people names.
To tell us that
you haven't stated
things are not improving. If you tell me things are not improving,
you haven't stated a single lie I have made. These people, they find it easy labeling people and calling people names. I mean, it's not fair.
Ibrahim,
you know it's not fair.
Ibrahim.
I mean, the name calling time is over. You are in government.
No, the picture you painted with regards to the economy and the running of the country suggests that things are in a mess. But in reality, it is the opposite of what you are saying. And you see, the internal wranglings in his party is normal with any other party in Ghana. In fact, the whole world. But I think they should manage it properly, because it is good. For me, I'm patriotic. I want a strong government that represents the people, and I want an opposition party that is equally strong.
We are strong. We are coming back. We are winning the 2028 election, and he is winning.
You know one thing.
Who is the candidate?
I'm not saying that.
Do you know one thing?
Winning the election.
I want Ibrahim to averse his mind.
He's been given over 5 minutes.
A minute. You see,
he's been given.
I want him to relate. Boss,
the
interjection is too much.
But you see, he has overused.
3 seconds. You see, he should measure whatever he's saying with the statement of some of his party elders who are praising and lauding the government for the trajectory it is following.
Thank you there, gentlemen. Whoever has something to say, when your time is allocated for your submission on the main topics, you dip it in. But I'll deduct it from your time, so. But anyways, getting into the main conversations for the day. We are 6 months in after elections. And we all know how people sacrifice to get representatives in parliament for their constituencies. And so they go out to vote. Some travel miles to come to their constituencies to vote, just so they can have a representative in parliament who would advocate for their needs as taxpayers. And yes, elections has gone by, 6 months in power, and we are yet to have a representative for some constituency.
For one constituency.
Okay, for one constituency, which is the Ablekuma, not constituency. And I mean, where do we go from here? We've seen it happen before. 4 years, certain people stood without having any rep.
No, very very unrelated comparison.
I get you.
Very unrelated.
I get you.
It
is of the context
it's
of
related.
Very very unrelated. They have no single relation.
Why? Let me finish.
I would have to make my case to justify why they have no relation whatsoever. SAR is the comparison you want to make here. The SAR constituency was not even created in the first place.
It wasn't created.
No, it wasn't.
Ibrahim.
SAR
wasn't created.
Which LI was it created under? In the 2020.
So today that's your justification.
Was the SAR constituency? No, come on. SAR wasn't created. The SAR constituency wasn't created. It was a district that was created. Let's get the facts. Please, let's come. Which LI was SAR created in 2020 under? There were plans, all the advances, all the documentation that needed to create a constituency for SAR.
Let me ask you a
were
question.
Presented. SAR wasn't created by
Did they vote? Did they vote?
They didn't vote.
Okay.
They are not Ghanaians, perhaps.
Okay. You get what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
I'm saying that SAR was not... the SAR issue and Ablekuma have no relation whatsoever.
Okay.
Anyone who wants to make an analysis and compare the two is just trying to make the usual politics.
Okay.
Look, the Ablekuma issue is simple. It's not the usual blah 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 blah. We reference to what the EC official is communicating to us. The EC, per our constitution, is mandated to conduct elections, collate results, and declare winners.
Okay.
And also gazette results.
Okay.
And subject those and submit those parliamentary as a candidates or the parliamentary elected or those MP elects to Parliament for swearing in.
Okay.
The Electoral Commission of Ghana conducted the 2024 elections with security provided all across every polling station by the then government. The Electoral Commission conducted the elections, collated, even though with few issues after the election, which were mainly and predominantly distorted and distracted by the NDC operatives. They had to always invade coalition centers, trying to snatch a parliamentary seat, like what's the name, Okakwe Central, and other constituencies that they did all their Takashi. They wanted to snatch it by 4 because they have declared John Mahama president, but the right things were done and all of that. Ablekuma is another. It's just one of those seats that they came out with all their vigilante groups and tried to snatch by force. It is clear that the MPP woman won the seat.
So what is
now
stopping the EC from declaring?
The EC has made public. They've even brought releases upon releases. Recently, even the deputy, what do you call it? Bossman addressed the media on what is happening. They said that they are ready to collate and declare the Ablekuma. The only thing they need is IGP Yahuno to just give them men to come and protect them.
But IGP also came out last 2 weeks to say that he's ready to provide them.
So we are waiting for him to provide. That's it. If he provides tomorrow,
is EC ready?
EC said they are ready. According to the EC, just go and check on their page, their last press release on Ablekuma. They said they are ready. They are more than ready. They have been ready from day one.
Okay.
I'm just using the ECs. I'm referencing the issue.
Okay.
And if you want, you can verify that.
Okay.
So that it doesn't become like I am making my own statements or I'm speaking on behalf of the Electoral Commission.
That's fair.
According to the Electoral Commission, they have been ready for months.
Okay.
To collate the remaining polling stations in Ablekuma North and declared who is the winner.
Okay.
IGP Dampare failed. That's his biggest sin as an IGP.
Okay.
He failed to provide security for the collation and declaration of Ablekuma North constituency.
Okay.
IGP Yohono has come. I'm just hearing from you that he says he's ready. I haven't seen his statement.
He has said that.
If indeed he says he's ready, we hope and pray that the EC and the IGP
can
conclude on a date. He provides the security for them to collate the results and declare the MPP woman who has won legitimately.
But how do you know it is the NDP?
We have our own collated figures and we know what
you have your collated.
We have it.
Yes, okay.
And we know that we have won.
Okay.
We know we have won. It's not like somebody's telling us. The EC themselves knows that we know we have won.
The EC knows that.
The NDC knows that we have won the elections.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
You get it?
Yeah.
So we are ready as a stakeholder because we sponsored our candidate into the 2024 elections of Ablekuma North.
Okay.
We have collated our internal figures. We know our candidate won the elections.
Okay.
And we are waiting for the two key stakeholders, the police service and the EC to conclude on a date, set a venue, get the protection they need, collate the results, and declare our candidate the winner of it.
Okay.
But the 9th Parliament, the cardinal sin of the 9th Parliament is Ablekuma North. That's the cardinal sin of the 9th Parliament.
Okay.
It's the biggest political sin in our fourth republic.
Okay.
In the legislature of Ghana.
Why would you say that?
And IGP Dampare's biggest sin is his inability to provide security for the collation and declaration of Ablekuma North. And I hope that IGP Yohuno will not carry that sin and retire.
Okay.
I believe and hope and pray that he doesn't let that tag to sit on him. He should provide security. Let the EC come and declare the winner of the day.
Okay.
So that we know that he is not one of those political stooges that was just planted into the police service to lead.
Okay.
I believe in him. I have no doubt in his leadership. I have followed him from when I was a very younger person, even though still young, but very younger person. I know his professionalism. I know what he stands and how objective he is. And I have no doubt when he was appointed that he would provide security for the Electoral Commission to do the needful.
Okay.
So that we have a member of parliament representing the good people of Ablekuma North, lobbying for projects for them, representing them as a member of the constituency in parliament, so the constituency does not feel as though they are not part of Ghana.
Okay.
Let me conclude on that statement by saying that any attempt by anybody to compare SAR to Ablekuma North is not abreast with the electoral issues.
Okay.
The Ablekuma North constituency was not even created in the I say Ablekuma North. SAR was not even created in 2020.
Okay.
In fact, they delayed with other issues with the creation. The creation wasn't done, so they did all of that, and then they didn't finalize with the creation of the constituency. So there was no representative, and they didn't elect a member of parliament.
Okay.
No candidates were sponsored by any political parties for such an election in a constituency that was not created, or the creation had not finalized yet.
It was created
after the elections. After the elections, that constituency creation and everything had been finalized. A member of parliament is representing them now, and I like it when people commit errors, they come back and correct those errors.
Okay.
And the Ablekuma North issue is not out of this world. It is an error, I believe. It is a failure on the part of the former IGP, I believe. And I believe that this current IGP will not fail. It's not so much of a big issue. The bigger issue is the fact that the people don't have a representation.
Right.
But I believe that maybe early July, IGP and the EC should finalize on that and give us a member of parliament to represent Ablekuma North. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. But Ibrahim, before I let AP come in, let me ask you this, and I just want a 30 seconds answer. You mentioned that you expect the current IGP to act not as one of those stooges planted in government.
Yeah.
Are you saying that in reference to the former IGP, who in your case failed, that he was a stooge planted in the political scene?
No, that is not what
that's not what you
that's
mean.
not what I mean.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't mean it like that.
Okay.
I'm just saying that he should be a very, because I understand some pressures. I mean, we are politicians, and we know. I understand some pressures maybe coming from the political party that has given him the position to toe a line in line with them. So he shouldn't allow himself to be manipulated. He should be very objective and allow for security men to, because they know that if it's declared today, they will not win the seats. That's why they are doing everything to delay everything. It is being manipulated by the NDC, but they will not win.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibrahim.
I can assure you.
Ebi.
Yes, sir.
Ablekuma North.
In fact, before I come to Ablekuma North, the details of it, I would like to state that it is imperative and it's right for us all to call for the resignation. That is, when we are being benevolent to the current EC chair.
Okay.
But when we want to go tough on her, it is important that every Ghanaian who has Ghana at heart, the person must call for the sack of the current EC boss. Because the one she replaced was sacked because her or the procurement officer for that institution for which she was a head committed one or two mistakes.
Okay.
For that reason, she was sacked.
Okay.
Now, this is another EC chair giving all the powers, giving all the support. In fact, the constitution stands behind her.
Yeah.
And yet, she trained people to supervise an exercise that hinges on the prosperity, progress, and life of the people of Ablekuma North. And yet, they were done with the elections and they could not provide pink sheets. Just a sheet.
The EC reps there couldn't provide the pink sheets.
Yes. And you know what? 6 months down the lane, they are still at post.
Ibrahim.
Okay. Yes. And they, in fact, I'm speaking to Ghanaians. Every right-thinking Ghanaian should call for her sack.
Okay.
In fact, she should be prosecuted, based on this matter.
Okay.
That we give you money to expend, run the elections, provide us with details, then get the people of Ablekuma North a representative in parliament, and you come and tell us that you don't have sheets. This is poor leadership. Is shameful. She must go.
Okay.
In fact, if she has a modicum of respect for Ghanaians, and this morning she should just pack her things into her bag, leave the office before she's sacked. You see, do you know what is happening?
Tell me.
Ibrahim was saying that there's no correlation between the people of Sal and Ablekuma North. You know one thing? The only difference is the number of years or the duration. But are you aware that when you deny people representation in parliament for a day. Do you know the crime you have committed against them? Against the state? For even a day.
Yeah.
So nobody should manufacture, a unfounded support for what the current EC is doing. This is so bad. You know what is happening, Ibrahim? After the elections, the EC doesn't have paper record of the work they have done in Ablekuma North. The NDC provided 57 carbonated copies.
Okay.
The EC was forced to accept it. Because because they don't have the records.
Okay.
The primary document to show that this is what happened in Ablekuma North, the EC doesn't have. But the NDC provided 57, the MPP provided 25. And there was 37 in contention. The MPP came with a scanned copy. And you know the effects of or what a scanned copy represents.
Yeah.
So if I take maybe one original paper, effect any information I want on it, I will scan it, and it will appear authentic to maybe people who are not lettered. Excuse my language. You see it?
Yeah.
Then the NDC says no. This 37 scanned copies cannot be authentic, or the actual represent. It is not valid. It cannot be valid to assist in collation. And then they say the EC says that there are 3 areas where even if there will be re-election, those places are what they will do with, and MPP supported their position. The NDC says no.
EC never called for
Oh
elections.
no! In Parliament, they were saying that in the event there is any re-election or rerun of the election day, it will happen in those 3 areas.
Okay.
Whereas it is, what should be, the norm is that the areas where there are contentions, just go conduct another election. They get the people.
Which the EC is saying that no, they are not.
Yes, they are saying no because you see they are supporting the stand of the MPP that only 3 areas in the event there will be a rerun. It should happen only in the. We are saying that no, we have 62 areas, polling stations that had that had similar problem.
Okay.
So go and conduct the elections. If you are to rerun, go to the 62 areas and conduct the elections.
Okay. So that's
and then give us the authentic. Yes, that's the stand of the NDC.
All right.
You went into a meeting with our leadership and the leadership of the MPP. Then, inconclusively, you come out of the meeting. Then the next time we see you are in Parliament saying that you want the support of, the IGP to provide security for you to go and, collate, and they are collating the 3 areas.
Okay.
Please, it's not good.
Okay.
It's not good. But you see, I want Ibrahim to know that the days when propaganda or repetition of any story, any fake story, will begin to sound right in the minds of Ghanaians is long gone.
Okay.
We are not there yet. We are not there again. It's a bygone days that will not reoccur.
Okay.
We are a serious nation. We know what you did to the mandate we gave you. You went around. You are talking about, arrogance of power. Come on. You don't know what arrogance of power is. Look at, even you assigned a complete V8, fueled it for a chair. You are coming to say arrogance of power. My brother, please stop that.
You end in
stop all of these lies.
Ibra.
They were lies. They were lies. They were lies. They were lies. So we are blind. So Ghanaians are blind.
It's not true.
No, Ghanaians are blind.
Okay.
That's what you are saying. Ghanaians are blind.
Okay.
So anyway, how many minutes do you have? Because I have to.
1 minute.
1 minute.
Yeah.
So you see,
1 minute is too much.
oh, that's the remaining I have, my brother. You see, honestly speaking, the EC has failed Ghanaians. The EC chair and her 3 deputies have no right to remain in office.
Okay.
How can you conduct an election? You train people to man a constituency, and they come out to tell you that they don't have paper evidence of the work they have done in Ablekuma North, and 6 months on they are still at post. Those people you have assigned there are still out. There's no punishment we have heard you have pronounced on them.
Okay.
Nothing has happened to them.
Okay.
What are you telling Ghanaians?
In conclusion,
she must go. She's a stooge of the MPP. You see, all the work she has done, the evidence is clear.
That she was planted.
She was planted there.
Okay.
Look at Boss Masari telling us that the NDC is a threat. Some years ago, it's a threat to our democracy. Look at you, Boss Masari. Provide leadership for the people of Ablekuma North. You are unable to do it. The people don't know the consequences. The enormity of
your time is up.
Depriving people of representation in parliament.
Sure.
People, I don't know how come we are this, excuse my language.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. So
can I give some responses in just a minute?
Let me factor it into
your time. The
next allocated time. Because it will let AP also come.
Yes, because
then we won't be able to
will happen.
but I mean, the EC, sorry. I think in the conduction of this just ended election got so many things wrong. I don't know what went wrong. But as a Ghanaian,
some of them are.
As a Ghanaian, I mean, let's look at the contentions that happened, as you clearly stated here, that we saw other parties
2024 election
using
was
Takashi.
One of the healthiest until these people decided to be invading.
One of the healthiest.
It was one of the healthiest in the side of the EC, the ECs.
Wow.
Okay.
You get it?
All right.
Until these people began storming polling stations and coalition centers to do. What was the issue? Was it the crime of the EC? Was EC in charge of security? It's not the Ghana Police Service.
All right, that's fair.
So the EC, I don't know the
lapses
EC had committed.
The lapses created by the EC.
They did their job. And let me tell you, I will not and have never assumed the role of being a PR for the Electoral Commission.
Okay.
I speak for the MPP.
You shouldn't. You should be patriotic.
I speak for the MPP. See, when he makes the allegations against the EC that they didn't have this or that, I don't speak for the EC, so I wouldn't provide whether the EC had or not. Okay. But according to the EC, I always reference to them. According to the EC, they have everything ready for Ablekuma North to declare.
They don't.
So let's allow them. Let's give them all they want. All they are asking for is security.
So are you saying that the former IGP didn't provide them security?
All they want.
What? How come?
They attempted collating Ablekuma North 2 times.
You know one thing.
Okay,
how come the Ghana police? Just a minute. How come Ghana police provided security for the entire elections, but left out Ablekuma North?
So the
that is a lie.
Of schools you guys went and bent.
We didn't ban anything. We didn't ban anything. What did we ban?
Okay.
We banned what?
Electoral Commission's document. Okay, let's move to the next topic. Let's move to the next topic.
You see, one of the most satisfying news, promises and assurances that actually got Ghanaians and especially the youth to vote massively for the NDC was the mention of oral Operation Recover All Loot. Because people realized, saw, experienced the mishappenings in governance, especially in terms of corruption. So when the introduction of oral was brought up, I think everybody was happy and all.
Even myself. Why wouldn't I be? I love this country.
Good.
One day we will enter
you are patriots.
No. Don't make that conclusion. One day we will enter his heart and know what is in there.
Oh, okay.
Because
is it aura? Is it the aura? Is it the
aura? What aura causes?
Is it the aura?
Guys,
is it those who aura?
Yeah. Let me finish. Let me finish. So that you factor it in your submission.
Okay.
So yes, oral gave us the assurance, the joy and all for people to massively vote at the back of corruption, as I mentioned earlier on the show. Now, there is this mention of, and this is coming from one of the people who chaired the oral team in the person of Mr. Martin Pogbu.
Okay.
Who says that oral is not interested in jailing people.
Yeah.
It is interested in recovering the loot from the people. Now, just last 3 days, this Monday, we covered a story where someone has told a goat and was jailed. A goat and was jailed. Now, Oral has come out with allegedly sums amount of money that can buy millions of goats by one person. And we hear that the country or the state is not interested in jailing the person, but just recovering the money. Is our judicial system being biased towards the political class when it comes to punishment, when it comes to facing the law? Because we see how ordinary citizens are treated in facing the law, and we see how the political class are treated in facing the law. Is our judicial system biased in terms of these two class of people?
Okay, thank you. Oral. I think we've spoken about oral. You see, when these people coined oral, Operation Recover All Loot, and I learned it was engineered by Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, Honorable, now the #1 diplomat of our country, the Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration Minister. Their failure on oral began immediately. They instituted a whole oral committee that had no constitutional backing, and they claimed they were using the GhanaTalks office. They were not taking allowances. They were not doing blah blah blah, and then so they didn't have any prosecutorial authority. They didn't even have any investigative authority. Later when we hear, they said they were doing preparatory whatever. They are receiving information from Ghanaians and all that. We say okay, let's still give them that benefit of hearing and see how they go about it. Later on, they came that they had finished, and Honorable Okudzeto announced that they were looking for some $20 billion from supposed thieves, people, looters, and all of that from the Kufuor government. I said, "Ooh, if $20 billion they people them a hand, yeah, Charlie, we don't need loan, no. Is it that thing? Yeah. Then go collect the money, come here." They said they handed over. They were fast tracking, and we helped them to even approve the Attorney General so that they can prosecute these oral people like these looters and all of them. Yes, after that, they have begun raiding homes illegally. Sometimes they even raid homes that are search warrant. We know the issues of raiding homes. They are searching. They are doing this. They are arresting this person. And funny enough, they began press conferences, updates. This week, Uncle Ayine will come and announce that this person was this, and he will prosecute the person in the press conference. How he stole this, how they trace him to this, how this amount of money was transferred from this. And I said, you are a senior lawyer, a lawyer with a PhD in law. These are enough evidence to go and charge the person in court and submit those ones before my Lord. And my Lord examines and makes your case superior, said that this criminal who has stolen the money would have no option than rather to run for a plea bargain, where your evidences are glaring such that maybe the person has to go to prison, or the person say, "Oh, I have the money, let me do plea bargain." Is that not it? You have come to the media, you turn judge, you turn lawyer, you turn prosecutor, you turn everything, and announce somebody, and already announce the person guilty in the media. I say, as a student of law, I know what Uncle Ayine is doing is wrong. So someone cannot just come and tell me, because Uncle Ayine is a PhD in law, I can't criticize his decision to resort to the media to address that. Okay. Yes. It's been 6 months, and they have announced a number of people they want to charge. They have not charged anybody. The only person, or the only people I learned that they have charged are the former CEO or the former Director General of the Signals Bureau, Dubuahini. Today, I have been following the Dubuahini case. Even the last sitting, the state was unable to provide witnesses for that particular case. And then the judge ordered the Attorney General Department to come with their witnesses. There's been a whole lot of back and forth. A whole Attorney General who had announced how you were too filled up with evidences that had made the man a criminal and all of that. And that man, he was appointed deputy under their government, and he was only promoted to be the Signal Bureau boss in 2017 or 2018. So I don't even, he's not even part of the he's not a politician. He's a civil person. He's not a politician. So, but I like it. If indeed he stole money, they should bring it. I learned the case. I've been following the case. He's struggling in court.
But then, Ibra,
you come to the SkyTrain issue. I'm just coming. Professor Amiya Kofi. Yesterday, if you follow yesterday's court, what do you call it? The AG department is as usual struggling again on him, and then a new motion has been filed by the lawyers of. They really don't have enough evidences to prosecute him. Last 2 weeks, they announced that they were going to charge some people the following week. The week passed, they didn't charge anybody. Obviously, because the MPP is in the news for all the positive reasons, you wait. Maybe these people, as usual, they will look for somebody and arrest the person to divert the news. You understand it? So that they will say, we are charging. Look, Master, are you proud? Are you happy as a Ghanaian that in 6 months now, the Attorney General has not charged a single political appointee, maybe a minister, a CEO, whoever they think they have stolen money? They've not charged even a single person that.
So they haven't charged anyone.
Who have they charged?
Okay, but
the names they mention in their aura, they mention names and scandals and the agencies and ministries. Who have they charged?
Okay, but
which former appointee have been charged?
Ibra, the question bears the assertion that, and this even leads to what we are discussing now. You see how you mentioned that they are failing to charge these people.
Yes.
Is it true then that in terms of ordinary citizens, we are in a haste to jail them, but with the political class, we feel they deserve certain privileges as to not deserving to be in prison, which is why probably the Attorney General is even failing to charge them.
I don't think it is that way. Let's be a bit magnanimous with how we chastise our judicial system. You see, when it comes to cases, issues of suspects and suspects, you know, when you suspect something of somebody of wrongdoing, whether he's a high-profile person or not,
please, you have 3 minutes.
You gather your evidences, and then charge the person in the competent court. Whether it's a minor, whatever, or it's a high-profile person. So I believe that the inability of the Attorney General to charge anybody at this material moment means that he doesn't even really have enough evidences. But I hope and pray that whoever has stolen money, that the way they label that this person is criminal, or that they should charge everybody that in the court. Because look, without charging the person in court, we don't know how you bring their money to us. Master, take them to court and bring the money and develop this country. We don't want loan again. No. Okujato said $20 billion is coming. It's been 6 months. We've not even gotten $500,000 from anybody. In fact, these people, I think people made noise that the aura, some people would even, they believe that some people will come and beg them to pay so that they don't charge. Nobody has gone to beg anybody. Everybody say, go to court, I am coming. They are running around doing politics. They have begun they started their 2020 campaign in January, if you don't know, with oral press conferences. So that they psych the minds of Ghanaians to feel like they have come. Some saints have come. And this who doesn't know NDC? That they have come, they want to catch criminals, they want to catch thieves, and so Ghanaians will believe that they will catch this person, they will catch this person will pay money. This is what they have been making the noise all this while. So when we are now going to elect our presidential candidate, they say, oh, it's too early, there's fight. Do you fear him? Where, Master? Charge these former ministers and CEOs that you know they have stolen money. Collect the $20 billion for us. If that is not done, I leave the judgment to Ghanaians.
Thank you very much.
We need the money. The other money. We need it, Papa. You make noise. You behave like you are the angels. You behave like you have all the prosecutorial powers. You behave like, you see, these people,
Okay.
Ghanaians will go more.
Okay, thank you.
Yo,
Ibrahim.
thank you.
Ebi.
Yes, sir. Honestly speaking, I want to premise my take on this matter with a statement the former president of America, Barack Obama, made when he was in Ghana here.
Okay.
That Africa needs strong institutions and not strong men. It speaks volume. That statement is a cause.
Okay.
You see, I think that we should shelve our personal interest and ensure that the four institutions, I'm adding the media to the three
arms of government. Okay.
You see, when we get these four institutions very strong, trust me, some of these societal ills will halt. This is the case where the executive is mandated to choose from among the legislature people who help it govern. Meaning parliament truly is not independent.
Okay.
This is the case that the executive is mandated to choose who has the judiciary. How can the judiciary be independent? In fact, we have to shelve personal interest, parochial interest, and ensure that any review of the constitution must factor this into the new constitution
amendments. Okay.
Now, on the back of the same statement Barack Obama made, it tells us that if we are serious as a country, we have to empower the anti-corruption bodies in Ghana here, especially those that have the constitutional backing.
Okay.
Let me just zero down on the oral.
Okay.
We are all aware that the oral doesn't have
any constitutional
backing, so it cannot prosecute, it cannot arrest. You know, so the only thing it does is, for me, from the start, I knew that it is to preempt, loot. You know, it's become like a tradition. Whenever your party or a party loses power, people in the party begin to grapple and ensure that they have saved a lot in their banks. You understand when I talk about banks, I mean whether the usual bank or the ones they have at home, they stock properly. It's a common knowledge. Okay, that this is what people do, politicians do. So the essence of oral was to preempt those things. And indeed, it has done that. It's been able to fish out people, know what is going here or what went here after the elections were declared, or the plans people are taking, to amass wealth that they are not supposed to. So we are aware that oral doesn't have that, the mandate. The only thing it does is to preempt. To preempt corruption. So you see, after oral has done its work, then it release the information it has to the president, and come on, we should know that when, for instance, I don't want to side my brother because I know he's upright. He will not,
He will not loot any
yes,
state
and
funds.
you too. But assuming somebody
Yeah.
was captured
Yeah.
in the oral report
Yeah.
for misappropriation or for corruption,
Yeah.
certainly the person will be traced. Wherever the person is keeping the loot will be taken. But the Attorney General has a responsibility to prosecute the person.
Okay.
And that is what is happening.
But has
We
there
shouldn't
been
make
any
nonsense.
prosecution?
We shouldn't make nonsense of oral and then make it look like it was all nuisance.
Okay.
No. We know that what they were, assigned to do, what they were commissioned to do was ensure that they have information, they stop, they halt any corrupt activities that would have taken place hitherto.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it is imperative, it is important that we draw the line.
Okay.
What we have to urge government, central government. I know Mahama will leave a big legacy. I hope that in the constitutional review that we've all been calling for, we should see commitment by the central government to disassociating the three arms of government from each other, ensure that they are fully independent.
Do you think the
bias?
Yes.
Okay. You see,
it's coming from the association that is binding
the political
them.
class.
Yeah. Do you think that is the
Do you
case?
know what is happening?
No.
That is the reason why I'm calling for a truly independent institution, three arms of government. Because when you look at the constitution, it has given ministers, okay, some sort of protection,
okay,
even former ministers, because that person has been in the capacity before. He knows his way around.
Yeah.
He knows big people. In fact, you, the president, the executive president, you can plan everything, but you are not the one implementing it. Perhaps your minister, or maybe somebody, maybe not even the minister, but somebody working in the ministry, will know, how to maneuver and then, create an escape route for anybody.
Okay.
So, I think in all sincerity, the advent of Akufo-Addo, former president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in our Ghanaian politics is a sad one. Look, we all know that government, I think there is a statement in politics that power corrupts.
Yeah.
And absolute power corrupts absolutely. We know that you can find traces of corruption in the Rawlings regime.
Okay.
We know you can find traces of corruption in Kufuor's regime. We know it's same for even our beloved Atamos. And my own man, in fact, John Mahama, that man, John Dramani Mahama, the guy is he was born a president. He was born a leader. And I'm sure that even in his government, you can find traces.
Yeah.
But when we strengthen our institutions, some of these things will be minimized or stopped. You see,
Ebi, you have 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
So let me ask this. Do you assent to the fact that there is a constitutional bias? Looking at what you even just said, that the constitution grants some privileges to ministers, MPs, and all that. Look at the fast tracking of how we prosecute ordinary Ghanaians.
Yes.
Who sometimes just did something out of survival.
Yes.
And then we see people who intentionally steal from the state.
My brother, that is the point I'm making, that we need to strengthen our institutions. Look, have you ever heard a sitting member or a member of parliament insulting in a plain language a justice or even a judge of a court. Have you ever heard that? If you have not heard that, let me tell you. Kennedy Japan, in plain language, insulted a judge and nothing has happened to him. My brother, why? Because the judge understands that. Look, Imani Ghana, was it? No, there was an IGP who took the same Kennedy Japan to court for defamation. And in court, the judge was telling the representative of the IGP, a sitting IGP, that you don't know the power these people wield. Come on. In which growing or in which fledgling democracy would you hear a judge?
Such a thing.
Look, Nanado's come, into politics was a bad business for Ghanaians. We should pray that anybody like Nanado never ever gets the opportunity to even lead parliament.
Okay.
Not to talk of the executive.
Your time is up. Your time is up.
So where did you get this? Where did you get Nanado? No, where did you get Nanado? You
He's
guys have
asking
worried us.
where you got Nanado.
Look, everything has reversed.
It's
Creation's God.
Nanado.
Subhanallah.
It's Nanado.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Ibrahim.
Okay.
The best president Ghana has
Okay.
ever
Our time is almost up. We have just some 10 minutes left. So let's.
Are you listening to Ibrahim?
Who is even more than like who thinks about the very poor person?
Like how?
You don't know.
Somebody.
Because you are clouded in the blood of NDC.
No. Honestly speaking, I am a very patriotic person.
You will not see the man Nanado. Look,
Hey.
let me tell you something brief about Nanado.
Someone who handled an economy
our time.
and even
Just
a
one
country,
minute. For the sake of time.
a country.
For the sake of time.
Just one
For the sake
minute.
of time.
Just a minute.
Ibra, for the
Ibrahim,
sake
but
of time.
honestly
Ibra, for the sake
speaking,
of time.
look, we all want to go to heaven.
Nanado,
But when you do this,
Nanado is the best Ghana has ever had.
We all
he's
want to
still
go
saying
there.
this
I mean,
thing.
the best president
I'm
Ghana
telling
has
you,
ever had.
if your imam is listening to you, he will call you and cite Quran
And
verses
my
and hadith to
imams
you
agree.
that
My
please
imam, he
don't
agrees.
do that.
Speaker Babwin
He agrees with me.
has launched
The best Ghana has ever had.
a program, an initiative in Parliament, what he calls the MP's Capacity Building Program. This program looks to build MPs or representatives,
Capacitate them to understand governance.
You have 4 minutes to deal with this.
Do you know one thing? Sometimes when you look at the budget presentation and what the MPs do to the budget, it tells us that they don't understand anything about governance or economics.
Okay.
So I think Abambagwin, with his experience in Parliament and the knowledge he has accumulated, throughout the years of service as a parliamentarian, I think he's right. He's on point.
Okay.
You understand? You see, we have fiscal policies. We have monetary policies. Okay. And all these policies come before Parliament. And yet the way they are treated, it's like sometimes our parliamentarians, those we have elected to go and represent us, they accent to bills without even understanding what's
in the bill.
What the repercussions are even about. Fiscal policies are financial policies of the central government, and monetary policies are that of the central bank.
Okay.
And all of them come before Parliament. They debate, they discuss, and some of them that these are injurious to the state, especially sometimes issues regarding taxation.
Okay.
You see, you don't tax the poor or the middle income earner to the luxury of a well-doing person.
Okay.
We don't even allow central government to dictate central, monetary policies.
Okay.
When you do that, that is how come the central government during Nanado's era was able to coerce our bank to be going for loans anyhow. It is improper.
Okay. So you believe that this program is going to put them in check?
In fact, and you see, my problem was I read about that program, and it was being sponsored by World Bank and then UK. I felt sad. So can't we raise revenue?
1.6 million.
Yes, can't come on. Okay. Nanadu gave his daughter built a restaurant for $6 million. So $1.6 million, come on.
Okay.
You see, because if we allow them to be sponsoring our programs such as this, they will have control.
Okay.
And sometimes some of these things, they will ensure that it's in their interest. Look, we have to begin to pursue our own interest, the African interest.
Okay.
We should seal every loophole that is giving them the opportunity to make input into what, because their input definitely is not one that will benefit us.
Okay.
So Aban Smani Bagwin, the Right Honorable Speaker, we thank you for this initiative. You are building our MPs, you are building their capacities. Some MPs, when they talk, when you listen to their speech, you realize that the deficit is too much.
It's okay.
Thank you very much.
For me.
Okay. He has just insulted the intelligence of our MPs.
Yes, so elect good MPs. Elect them.
The Constitution. And this is for
AP.
Okay, that's just by the way.
Yeah.
Our Constitution provides for any citizen, sound mind, to contest to become a member of Parliament or President.
Okay.
You don't need any formal education to contest to become an MP or President.
Okay.
You just need to be sound, have a sound mind, meet the age requirement, and then you are qualified to become a member of Parliament. He started well, but he concluded by destroying the whole thing, the whole concept about it. He said when they speak. In fact, I am even of the view that Parliament should adopt 4 major local languages to be able to cover, or more, to be able to cover those who cannot express
themselves
very well in the English language. Because the Constitution says that you don't need formal education to become an MP.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes and he can't speak English, and we want to measure people's ability, intelligence by the brofo they can speak.
And that's not what I did. That's not what I did.
I think that's really
the language. The English language is just a conduit.
Sure.
What I'm talking about is what is in the person's head, the output.
Okay. He has taken about some few seconds of my time. He would have next time I'll take it from him.
No problem. Next
So
I'll record it down. He took 9 seconds of
9 seconds.
15.
Okay. So I think the speaker, since he emerged in 2021, has been bringing a lot of reforms to our parliament.
Okay.
And they are very commendable. In fact, he has led some of the most controversial parliaments, but
honestly,
he's shown leadership.
Sure,
he's fantastic. He's a fantastic.
He's
guy.
shown leadership. I tell you that we would have to write a lot about that man after he exits politics.
Yeah,
I mean his growth in the game of politics has been nothing sort of an amazing thing. Having the 8th parliament was hell, but he maneuvered his way, built consensus. There were times where his own party comes hard at him. Montaka, I remember, called him a dictator. My party comes at him, he stood, even though a card-bearing NDC, somebody who had been contesting for over 24 years or 28 years, he was an MP in the ticket of NDC. He stood on his ground and said, "Hey, I'm here for Ghana, not for political party." If he had been that too political and partisan, the 8th parliament would have burned fire. He played his card well, and that alone, history would be very fair to him. Beyond just his management of parliament, he brought initiatives such as the outfit of the speaker. He decides to say he ought to be African, and he's been wearing his African outfits, the agbaja and the 3 pieces and all of that. And that's global recognition for our outfit and all of that. And that's commendable. And he instituted quite a lot. I can't get all of them off head. So introducing a capacity building program for MPs. You know me as a lover of Bagbin, I would just say I commend him for that and all of that. But I just hope that it doesn't collide with their workshops. You know, when new MPs come, they have some workshops for them that they train them about the parliamentary standing orders and all of that. Sometimes they go to either Rock City or Volta. There's one beautiful hotel in Volta Rinyeho. So these are the two venues whenever they are outside of town, either that place or Rock City Hotel. I hope and pray that it doesn't collide with it. And it's also something that we have a very definite funding, Syria funding, of course, for it. And it comes to stay. So that I mean, if they even do it every quarter, every 3 months,
you think that's
some So bring people from the ECOWAS Parliament, AE Parliament, and Commonwealth Parliament to come and support.
This very one he says is to equip the MPs on legislation. You know how to create laws and some of these things.
He has also stolen my time again. Another 12 seconds.
Oh, just helping you out.
So I don't have much to say about it than to just say I commend him. I know him, a seasoned lawyer of his caliber. They will frame it well to be beneficial to us. Maybe one day, if the two of us meet there,
you meet the parliament,
would have benefited from it.
Sure.
So I think it's good. He set a very good precedence. And I commend him. He even told you the Speaker's Cup. I mean, they played. I mean, he did quite a lot of initiatives. And Bagbin, I mean, he's one of those people I look up to. Yes. The last time I met him in 2023, I told him that I pray and hope that he stays alive for a very longer time, so that when we go into the parliamentary business sometime, he will still be. By that time, he's home nurturing his grandkids. He will still come and tap into the volume of experience and wisdom, so that it helps us to grow. And he welcomed us, and we had a very good chat. So he's a man I so much cherish. So he's a man I so much admire. Yes, he's a very good man. Just that Mahama has managed to kill Barbin's presidential ambition.
It's okay. We'll end it here on the show. But just before we leave, your last words.
Yes.
Ibra, since you're on.
Yeah, I want to say that a big shout out to Northeast MPP. It's your servant Ibrahim Gomna. The next Northeast Regional Youth Organizer, inshallah, to help us regroup and bring our party back to power. And I'm also just officially informing you all that I'm contesting to become the Regional Youth Organizer of Northeast MPP.
Wow.
And for now, we are focusing on making Baumia the flag bearer on 31st January. Then my agenda kicks in. So we've been on the ground since January. We've been working and telling the message that the people give me the mandate to serve them in that capacity. So I want to say big shout out to the entire Northeast MPP, to His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia, whom of course President Mahama would be handing over to him in January 2029. You know, when the manner in which he conceded, even the president, he stated it that his brother Baumia.
Don't worry, his mic is off.
It's a very gentle man. I'm factoring all his seconds in. So Baumia will win, and we will work hard for him to win. It's not just work hard for him to win. And when he wins the presidency, and Ghana would tap into the rich ideas that God has blessed him on. Ghana has already benefited heavily from him as vice president for the 8 years, and he will be a very fine president. And the NDC even knows it. That he'll be a fine president.
Thank you there, Ibrahim.
But Ibrahim leaves me with a lot to say. Because when Kennedy Japan,
Ibrahim, this is your last words.
Yes, I'm surprised. That's why I say he's leaving me with a lot to
30
say.
seconds.
When Kennedy Japan, without any government support, came second, and looking at the kind of heavy-handedness that was meted against him, and he was able to pull like that. My brother, but it's good you are taking sides. It's strategic because when people know you are supporting Bawumia, at least they also come support you. They will vote for you. It's nice. To my party, with all what John Dramani Mahama is doing, I am sending this signal to anybody who intends to lead the NDC in 2028 to begin to work with the grassroots now. Because for the legacy that anybody will write on to win the next election, John Mahama is doing it already. Anybody who intends to lead the party and win 2028, the person must come out now. The person must start working with the grassroots now.
Okay.
Because it is apparent that when the party is in power, sometimes they get detached from the grassroots.
Okay.
I am seeing a semblance of that already. After the nomination and subsequent endorsement of MCs, they should be very careful.
Okay.
And it's not only my constituency. You understand?
Yeah.
So I don't know how come they even did that MCDC, appointment, but they should be very careful.
Okay.
They must come back to the grassroots. My brother, if I tell you what we went through to win this election, my very self, in fact, they should begin to use conscience.
Okay. They should give my brother an appointment, though.
David, I am telling you what is happening with the grassroots.
Okay.
So
give an appointment
I want to extend my greetings to my own mother, Haja Fati.
Okay.
Then my friends, Alaji Guda. Do you like attire?
Yes.
It's very healthy. People think that attire is for Zungu people. My brother,
I like it.
You have to read the contents or what the benefits you get from attire. It's very, very important.
Do you have a lot?
I don't have a lot, but I can tell you where you can get the best. Okay. Alaji Guda at Ofanko Barrier.
Okay.
Opposite Adobia's, kitchen.
Okay.
In fact, there are things, you have to know about attire. But don't drink attire anywhere.
Okay.
Go there and take your attire.
Okay.
It will help you.
All right.
When you see young boys and they are doing attire, sometimes distance yourself from them because some additives and some things they add. You finish and you want to go and wash your books. You want to go and wash your documents because you feel they are dusty. But when you take attire from that man, you are safe.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
If you pay, where's the head of program?
If I can pay. So thank you there. Big thank you to our listeners and audience watching us and listening to us all over the world. This is where we end the show. We thank the gentlemen who graced the show this morning, making it very interesting, educative, and insightful. This is where we call the curtains on the show. DJ Rock will be with you to bring you some soothing music later after we sign out. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Are you ready to amplify your